Howdy, you guys. Saturday again, open house day. Oh, Maggie.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, it's going to be a bit of a weird one today. We're going to be debating, if you will, whether the Earth is flat or not. Now, some of you may have thought, Rob, what are you doing? You don't believe in any of this, and I don't. So I thought I'd lay my cards on the table here. I honestly think that you're crazy. So I'm just gonna put that down there. So that's set, and you're all right. So you know,
don't worry, you're crazy.
We know where we stand here, okay?
Yeah.
So we have our in the blue corner, we have, what was your name? Why are you an idiot? Or
yes. Why are you an idiot?
Why are you, or why you are?
Basically, why you are an idiot.
Why you're an idiot? Okay, and you think that the Earth is indeed flat, or flat-ish?
Yes. It's flat with a dome. Yes.
Flat with a dome.
Yes.
And then we have MCToon. Hello there, mate.
Hello. How you doing?
With your lovely microphone. See, that's a professional microphone. That's what we want to, up your game, mate. But okay, so yeah, and MCToon, you're going to be here for the defense of sanity.
Yes,
as such. So we're going to start. Who should we start off with, really? Who would be better to do? Who would like to go first, let's say?
Would you like to start off with why each of us made our channels or whatever, etc.? Would you like to start off with that?
Perhaps. Okay, okay. MCToon, when did you start? What sort of propelled you into the YouTube world?
Well, I had been watching videos and participating in online forums for quite a while when Flat Out Hero issued a challenge to use flight charts to produce a map or a flight chart that had 3 equal side triangle with equal sides,
right?
That summed up where each corner was 90 degrees, which is possible on a sphere and impossible on a flat surface.
Right.
And it was $100,000 challenge. I did that. Another pilot Wolfie 6020 did that, but then he moved the goalpost in typical fashion and said that you had to use paper charts instead of what pilots actually use these days. So I went and downloaded some paper charts, printed them out, and assembled a flight chart that met his criteria. And even after his goalpost moving, he conceded that I did it. Then he tried to weasel out by saying I was late, but it doesn't matter. I did it. There's a flight chart or a flight plan that is has a triangle of 270 degrees.
Give me my money.
Exactly.
So you need to basically, you need to get some hard-hitting motherfuckers with some sticks and take him down. That's the only way. Law of the jungle, mate.
Well, he has no money, so I don't think it. I didn't expect him to pay.
You mean he's lying?
Yes.
Ouch. That's not fair. So okay, we've got why you are an idiot. Why am I an idiot? Why are you an idiot?
Well, let me talk about my channel first. So I was pretty much scrolling through Reddit one day, and I was on the atheist forum. And I didn't know how many atheists there actually were, and there's a ton of them. And
there's quite a few, yeah.
I started looking at what they were writing, and I was just like, they would write Bible verses and get them completely wrong. And what I mean by get them completely wrong, what I mean is get the context completely wrong. And it wasn't just the Bible; it was like every religion. Basically,
atheists can be idiots too. I think we can all agree.
Basically, they don't know the story of the Bible, Quran, Norse, Greek. So they don't know anything like that at all. They're just talking out their ass. So my channel was like, okay, they're talking out their ass. They're really stupid. They have no idea what they're saying. So I'm going to make a channel, and I'm just going to debunk some of the stuff they talk about. And I'm going to show them what the Bible was actually saying and what religion is actually saying. And they don't like that. But they have to accept it. That's what religion is actually saying. What my channel shows is what religion is actually saying.
Which religion?
And they hate it. Huh?
Which religion?
Well, I'm mainly a Bible believer, but I also believe in other religions also.
So when you say religion, you mean all religions in some sort of amalgam?
how do I say this? I believe Christ, Holy Trinity, all that stuff is my God, the real God. But these other religions are also real, but they are not the real God.
Okay.
You have to understand the story to understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And that's a very long process.
Okay.
So I decided to do a channel on that, and a whole bunch of other stuff got caught into it. Flat Earth, MCToon, and a whole bunch of other things. Like I just made a post on Reddit. Some guy made a post about a verse from the Bible, and I just took it, and I'm just like, see how stupid you are? You read it wrong, because you're a retard. And I got caught him. I'm like, you're a retard, you're stupid, you read it wrong. It's that simple.
Okay, so your idea of a flat Earth looks something sort of like this.
Yeah,
are we right here?
Yeah, similar, but get the center and push it down, because we don't really have that little hill in the middle. It'd be flat also, but that's pretty much the description.
And you don't see anything wrong with this?
No, why? Nothing at all.
Nothing at all?
No, why? I have video proof of seeing it. Like, globe heads. They send me videos like, here, look at the curve, and I'm just like, no. That's you're looking at the
first of
circle.
all, I'm looking at this, and you were saying that it has some sort of dome over the top of it. It doesn't have a dome over the top of it.
Yeah, this is just the outline of the bottom piece, and then the dome would be on top of it.
And what's that made of?
Like covering the circle, like inside the circle.
What's this dome made of exactly?
It's made out of a glass-like structure.
Glass-like?
Yeah, glass-like structure.
So like glass, but not glass.
I don't know what type of glass, but it's made out of some type of glass-like structure.
Whatever it is, it's glassy. That's what you're saying?
Yes, it's glassy.
And you have evidence of this, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And that evidence is in the Bible, is it?
Well, it's in the Bible and then on video.
On video?
Yeah, I have video evidence of it.
You have video evidence of it. I can play this video.
Okay.
What you'll see is called sundogs.
Yeah.
An effect in the air where the sunlight shines through ice crystals. It happens when it's really cold.
Yeah, that's an understood phenomenon, of course.
Now let me ask you this question. Prove the ice crystals exist.
Science does not address proof, it addresses disproof.
Okay. All right. So you can't prove the ice crystals exist, so what else do we have to go off?
What do you think snow is, mate?
Yeah, I know, when it's snowing.
Well,
but if I have a regular day and it's
snow
hot,
is when it's not snowing?
No. Yeah, but when it's hot, you're going to tell me that yes, ice crystals are going to come?
Well, there's other things that can be used to diffuse light, of course. Humidity.
Yeah, of course. There's many things. You have atmospheric density, refraction, everything that goes on in the air that, can cause issues. But if I was to be real about it and keep it simple, I've never seen these ice crystals that you talk about that you guys say are in the sky. And we've all been on
planes, these ice crystals.
Yeah.
If you imagine.
Yeah, so it's like, okay,
clogged up
I've never seen all the way that up there. So I have no evidence of these ice crystals up there. So I just okay, I can't prove it. I'm not going to believe it. So, okay, what do I have left to go off of?
So first, before we, your statement there, just because you don't believe it doesn't mean that the rest of regular people have to agree with you. So the rest of us are going to say, well, just because you don't understand something, we're not going to take that. We understand it. We accept it. So your burden of evidence now is to disprove it. Actually,
you do understand that you can have ice.
Everyone can have
ice. You understand that ice exists and snow exists, sleet, hail, all of those different things. So that is ice. That is ice dropping literally from the sky.
Yes.
So and those are made up of ice crystals.
Yes. But you're going to tell me in the middle of the summer when it's 90 degrees outside, there's these ice crystals existing. No.
How can
the sky? You want to talk about ice crystals in the winter? Sure, I'll give you that. But in the summer, no. And when we see the sundogs mostly is when it's warm. That's when we see the reflection of the sun off the dome.
Actually, I've never seen sundogs when it's warm. I live in Minnesota, and we see it only when it's extremely cold. 30 degrees below zero is a good temperature. Fahrenheit, sorry, British people there.
It's all right. We'll manage.
Yes. And I might use feet and miles, and I won't use stones. Sorry.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
We'll adapt.
Yeah, there's no problem with it. There's no problem with it. So it's one of those things that I look at it and I'm just like, here, I'll give an example. It's like you guys are saying ice crystals in the air exist, okay, up there, way up there. No evidence of it other than snow. And snow only goes, 20,000 feet? And then we'd have to go above the clouds. We have to go above the clouds.
Yeah, where it's colder.
Yeah.
You do realize that if you go at a certain height, it starts to get very cold. Have a look at like mountains and things.
No, I know. We start to lose air.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, it can hold less temperature.
Cold? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Are you familiar with Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania?
What about it?
It's very close to the equator. It's extremely warm year round, even in the winter, which they don't have much of a winter because it's on the equator. But on the top of Mount Kilimanjaro is snow because it's cold with altitude.
Yeah. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, so that's ice crystals up high because of cold.
Yeah, we're talking about past 20,000 feet. That mountain is not 20,000 feet. We're talking about above 20,000 feet. Once you go above 20,000 feet, which supposedly planes do, they go supposedly 30 to 35.
Yes.
Okay. I don't see any ice crystals happening. I don't. Never seen it.
Well, that's
and
why
I've been on a plane several
that's
times.
fine. You don't have to understand it, but the rest of us do.
Okay. Well, if you have proof of it existing high, way high up there, please show me. If not, I have nothing to go off of what you're saying.
That's fine. You don't have to understand it, and I don't concern myself with proof because I believe I use the scientific method. So if you're going to ask for proof, I'm just going to continue to say, sorry. What you want to do is disprove. So that's your concern, not proof.
Yeah, but if you can't prove something, it's either disproven or it's left in a theory.
No, sorry. Science concerns itself with disproof. So stop asking for proof. It just makes you look foolish.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Okay, so now let me ask this question. Okay, what are you guys gonna do with the core of the Earth? Do you believe it exists?
Absolutely.
You believe it exists. Okay, how can you prove it? What evidence do you have?
Again, stop asking for proof. But their evidence, there's certainly evidence. Absolutely.
Please tell me.
Maybe you want to, work with some geologists, ask them these questions, because there's an entire field with thousands of people that work in it that study this. So you sitting on your couch, you're going to need to do a little better than prove it to actually have a point.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. I was just in a debate with, non sequitur and all of them. Okay, I was just there. It was like 5v1. Okay, and I had to run it around for like 40 minutes. They couldn't answer some simple ass questions. Okay, but let's take a look at this seismology that you're talking about. One, they talk about the core of the Earth. They talk about the center. They talk about how S and P waves come from a certain area of the Earth. Okay, basically that means movement comes from a certain spot. Okay, I can agree with that. I don't mind with that at all. I have no issue with that. Now, does that prove a core? No, that proves there's movement. Now, what do we know that's under the Earth? We know there's lava, water, dirt, and of course some bugs. And then, we can go through a various array of materials that they can talk about, but the reality is just dirt. Now, that's what we know is under the Earth.
It's definitely lava under there, mate. Hot molten
I know. I just said there's lava. I agree. Now, does any of that prove a core? Nope.
Right.
That proves there's lava, water, and dirt.
You do understand that iron is a very ubiquitous sort of material in the universe. You do understand that, don't you? Iron is in everything.
I don't mind. It's no issue for me.
Okay, so just think about it. Hot thing, really hot, loads of iron. Where's the iron going to go?
Nowhere. It's going to stay there.
Stay where?
Under the earth. Where else is it going to go?
It's in lava, mate. It's being cooked. Literally
Yeah.
boiled, okay?
Yes. I believe you.
So what happens when you cook sort of items? You put something in a pan or whatever like that, you separate things out.
Yeah, it'll start melting and moving and this and that, etc.
Yes.
But
down
it's
to the
still
center,
under the earth.
down to the bottom, yeah?
Yes.
That's the core.
No. That's lava melting rock and iron and other materials, and it's moving. Yes. I agree on that.
Yeah,
does that prove a core?
Rock with iron in it. Have you not noticed that like loads and loads of rock has iron in it?
No issue there. I agreed with you. I just agreed with you. Yes.
You agreed or disagreed? I'm confused.
I agreed with you. You told me there's iron in the rock.
Yes.
I agree.
And we're floating on lava, which separates because it is so hot. It's literally like gushing.
Yeah.
So you can
it's the same thing with the water.
You can understand that it could be that sort of separated out.
Yeah. Okay. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to say is that there's tons of lava under the earth. I agree. Do you know how much water there is under the earth? Tons. I mean tons. Not a little. Tons of water under the earth. Just like lava, there's tons.
I would suggest tons. At least tons. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me there's going to be a core, a hot core with all that water under there? No.
No, there's no water. There's not water in the core. Geologists don't suggest there's water in the core. They suggest it's iron and other heavy metals.
Yeah, you're going to have a huge issue with that because I remember, you could probably look this up.
I'm not going to have a huge issue with that. The geologists who spend their entire career studying these things don't have an issue with that. You're the one that has the issue. You don't understand it. Therefore, it's false. Sorry, that doesn't work.
No, it's not that I don't understand it. It's just that there's certain things that are unprovable. Here, I'll give an example for me.
Everything other than math is unprovable.
Even math has issues. And I did that, and I explained that in the last debate. Math has a limit. Math cannot prove everything. It has a limit.
My point is, if you're asking for proof, we can do that in math. We do nothing else with proof, though. We don't do proof in science. We don't do proof in geology. We don't do proof anywhere else. So if you keep asking for proof, you're going to continue to look foolish.
How is that foolish that I want something? I have no issue with the math.
That is the scientific process.
Here, I'll give an example. Let's say you have an equation that you just did. Very complicated equation. Now I want you to make that equation in a physical form. So that way, we can verify that what you were saying is physically true. Because I can write a bunch of numbers on this piece of paper right here next to me. It's not going to mean anything until I apply those mathematics to reality, which is why I have no issue with the math when you can physically manifest it. When you can physically manifest the math that you do, sure, be my guest. I will believe you. Trust me, I will. There's certain things, when I talk to globe heads, there's certain things I agree with them. Even right now, he said there's iron under the earth. I agree with you. I don't deny that at all. Why would I deny that? But there is
all right.
A
so
limit.
do you have a point to this now?
Okay. Now, what's my point to this? My point is, if you have math, I have no issue with that. Can you make that math into a manifestation, something physical that we can touch? And I will believe you. If you can't, then guess what? It's a theory, which is why the core is a theory.
It is a scientific theory. So you do understand what a scientific theory is?
Yes.
Or is this it's not a hunch. A scientific theory is something that has been developed over time and there's sufficient evidence for it before any scientist considers it a theory.
I know. That's why they have seismologists. Why they have seismologists.
Right.
And
So,
it's not like
so
I
when
disagree with
you say just a theory, it suggests to me that you don't quite understand what a scientific theory is, and you think that it's maybe just a hunch, and you're conflating the two versions of a colloquial version of theory and the scientific term of a theory.
No, it's just when a theory comes into play, it has to be able to manifest some type of physical representation. You have a thought in your head, you have a theory in your head, and you're like, how can make this
that's
real
called a
life?
hypothesis.
No. Now you have to prove that theory in your head.
No, I'm sorry.
Whatever theory I have in my head,
Let's back up for a second here. You need to brush up on the scientific process because you're conflating terms. A hypothesis is what you described, and then you went right into proof again. You don't do proof in science. The scientific method does not output proof. It outputs evidence. It outputs theories, and it outputs laws.
Yeah. Look,
But never proof. So keep asking for proof. Keep looking like a fool.
Okay. Look, it's fine by me because guess what? If you ask me stuff about the Bible, certain things about the Bible, I have physical proof of.
Okay, can I ask you? Can I ask a few questions? What else don't you believe in? For example, speed of light.
Yeah, I believe the speed of light. Do I believe it's a constant? That's up for debate. That's up for debate. I'm not 100% sure on that.
No, it's not up for debate. Of course, it's not constant.
I honestly don't know.
The speed of light. Most people look at the speed of light and understand that it's the speed of light in a vacuum. You can slow light down.
Okay. Here's the issue with the vacuum part. How are you? We're supposedly you guys believe you're on a ball, right? Spinning, etc.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I can show you a video of the literal vacuum of the Earth, literally sucking a whole container, one of those truck containers, just breaking it apart. That's the vacuum here. The vacuum in space is said to be 10 times stronger.
So all right.
Why isn't? Let me
hold on.
Vacuums don't have any strength, mate.
Yeah, its pressure has strength. That the tanker that you're seeing is being crushed because of pressure, not because of vacuum. And so when you say vacuum being 10 times stronger, it doesn't actually work. Vacuum isn't a thing; it's a lack of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, you understand what's the opposite of hot, for example?
Cold.
No, there is no opposite of hot. You've either got no heat or more heat. There is no anti-heat, for example.
The opposite of hot is cold. That's common sense.
The opposite of hot is not hot. Cold is not a thing. It is a lack of heat. Again, this is science, and I'm sorry if you didn't quite pay attention in 8th grade science class.
You've got 0, and then you go up.
Then
you go 0 and you go up. There's no minus. Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna make me believe that. Oh hell no, you're not gonna make me believe that. That's
do you know what? Do you know what the Kelvin?
I'm using simple common sense.
Hold on a second. Do you know what the Kelvin scale is for temperature?
No, I do not.
No. Okay, so you are not qualified to talk about heat because you don't even know what
let's explain the Kelvin scale. Okay, so you understand Fahrenheit, yes?
Yes.
So do you understand what 0 represents?
Yes.
What does it represent?
Nothing. 0.
It represents the freezing point of brine. Do you understand that concept?
No. What's that? What's brine?
Salt water.
Okay. All right.
So this is basically a maritime device for measuring temperature. Centigrade, for example, 0 is the freezing point of pure water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Kelvin, 0, there is, well, let's say this, nothing has ever managed to get down to 0. They've done loads and loads of tries, but to get down to absolute 0, sort of, they've done like 0.00001 degrees Kelvin. That's about as close to 0 as they've got. So when it comes to temperature, there is no 0.
Okay, that's fine. I agree with you. Yeah, there has to be a point
there is
where
no
water freezing.
so there is no minus. You can't even get to 0. Never mind minus.
Yes, I know,
Okay?
but you asked me
Now,
this simple
now we're
question.
talking about
What's
when you talk about vacuums. A vacuum is having gases in it. If you have gases in a vacuum, it's no longer a vacuum. Okay, you remove all the gases, remove everything, you've got your vacuum.
Yes.
So there's nothing left. There is no minus. There's no strong vacuum or weak vacuum. It's a vacuum or it's not.
Okay. Well, we have the vacuum of space, right? You
Right.
believe that, right?
Well, to a degree.
Okay.
It's almost never a vacuum. There's always a little bit of gas running around. It's almost never.
Okay, let's assume there's some vacuum and there's a little bit of gas. Let's just assume that. It wouldn't matter. The vacuum of space is way stronger when you look at it.
Vacuum is not strong. Pressure is strong.
So let me ask this question. How is, space not just ripping off the air? Because it'd make more sense if we were in a
vacuum is not a force. A vacuum doesn't pull, pressure pushes. So the vacuum of space doesn't pull off the air. The air bunches up and tries to move away from the denser air to the less dense air, but eventually hits an equilibrium.
No, I have a vacuum right there in my closet.
I'm sorry that you don't understand this. That's not our fault. That's your fault that you lack the basic understanding of 8th grade science class.
It's really big. This is so the physics
look,
of your vacuum in your cupboard or whatever you've got stored there. It's not the same as the physics of like planets. It's a completely different thing. There's all kinds of things going on here. For example, gravity, which is accelerating everything at about 9 meters per second.
You can't prove gravity.
Oh, proof again. You look like a fool. Stop asking for proof. Now, if you want evidence for gravity,
there is plenty of that.
Provide that. Yes. Would you like to hear evidence for gravity?
I'll listen to the evidence for gravity, but I have a feeling I know what it's going to be. But tell me.
All right. So if you take a weight and a scale that can measure down to hundredths of a gram or more, these are it's a difficult scale to have. They're pretty expensive, but you can get one. And you hang that weight underneath it so that you can measure the pull. Now, you take your baseline there, and you measure your how many grams. Then you take a large mass and you slide it underneath this little weight, and you'll see that there is a larger mass there. You're going to see 100th or 200ths of a gram more. It depends on the size of the different objects. That's mass attracting mass, which is evidence for gravity.
Okay, so you're going to do the whole mass attracting mass thing. Okay, yeah, I heard that.
That is called the law of gravitational attraction. There are very few things in science that make their way up to becoming a law. Gravity is one of them. We also have the Kepler's laws of motion, the laws of thermodynamics, Snell's law, things like that we have an exceeding amount of evidence, a huge preponderance of evidence to support, and no instances of disproofs. Then it becomes a law.
Yeah, this is you can tell that space is being bent. You've got lensing, all kinds of different things where space is being torn apart. You can see it happening. We've just had somebody take a photo of that. You think they just made that up?
Okay, now let me get back to him first, MCToon. Okay, now the first part is I agree with you. Yeah. Mass attracts mass. I don't doubt that at all. We have magnets. We have several things.
Magnets are not mass attracting mass. That's magnetism. That's a separate force.
I understand what you're saying, but that does not prove a core.
No, we weren't talking about a core at the time. And you keep on about the proof. Stop it.
Because it's about gravity, right? It's about gravity, right?
8th grade science, okay? In 8th grade science, if you had paid attention, your teacher would have said early in the school year how the scientific method works, and that proof isn't one thing that is output from science. It's evidence. Now, you probably didn't pay attention, or you forgot it. I forgot it. That's, people don't remember that. But you look it up. You pay attention now. You're trying to have a conversation in this realm, and you're accusing other people of being idiots when you don't understand yourself how the scientific process works. So you need to grow up a little bit and maybe think about the name of your channel, because you suggesting that we are idiots, yet you don't understand the scientific method, suggests somebody else might be the idiot.
Well, can you let me speak and let me finish?
All right.
Now, let me finish what I'm going to say, okay? Please stop interrupting me. I just want to finish what I'm saying, okay? I cannot prove the core of the Earth. Neither can you. And I understand you said evidence, okay? I understand. But just deal with it for now. I can't prove the core of the Earth. No one can. I haven't met anyone that has been able to. Okay, so now that the core is gone, we already have an issue with gravity.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so let me finish. Let me finish,
like
please.
proof?
Let me finish, please.
Okay.
Okay, since we have an issue with the core, now where the hell is gravity coming from? We don't know. Or maybe it doesn't exist and it's imaginary in our heads. Because if we remove gravity, then that messes up the tides of the moon. And guess what? The water would come up and kill us all. So we already have one issue that we can't prove. We can't prove the core of the Earth.
So yeah, as you say, you're saying all of these things don't exist, and because it doesn't exist, suddenly all different physics that wouldn't make sense suddenly happen. That's what you're saying.
It's not so much that all the physics change.
If you take away one portion of the sort of like classic physics model away, just let it go. Suddenly it all goes a bit topsy-turvy, of course. That's sort of the point.
Yeah, and that's the issue with the globe. There's a lot of loose ends on the globe that
you're literally removing you're removing non-loose ends and then saying there are loose ends here.
It's a loose end when you can't prove it. It's a loose end when you can't prove it. That's a fantastic way to put it.
No, oh my goodness, back to the proof. Stop it. It's not a thing. You're not convincing anybody that has, finished 8th grade science that, because you can't prove it, it doesn't exist. No, sorry. It's not proof. It's evidence. Is there evidence for a core? Absolutely. There's a lot of evidence for a core. Is there proof? No, there's not proof for anything. So if you're gonna elevate the necessity all the way to proof, then nothing exists anywhere at all. You don't exist. We don't exist. It's all just an existential dream.
No. It's just our physics change, and I'm okay with doing that.
Well,
that's all it is.
All right, I look forward. I look forward to your publications and the Nobel Prizes that you will be getting.
Oh God! If only.
I know. If only you understood 8th grade science, then you'd say, "Oh wait, crap! I was wrong. Who is the idiot?"
Yes, of course. Okay, now let's talk about something.
I wanted to MCToon to maybe explain this image to us, for example. This is one of the images that you sent me, Tune?
Yes, that's a great disproof of flat Earth, because science addresses disproof. This is one of my disproofs, and this it's a video I'm working on. I have this on my website right now at MCToon.net. So this is examining the angular elevation of the sun. So if the Earth is flat, then the sun is above it.
Yes.
And as it when it's over our heads, we look straight up. Like if you're on the Tropic of Cancer at the right day at the right time, you can look straight up and see it. Now this example shows the most flat Earth friendly possible position to view the sun, that other than in Antarctica, which some say doesn't exist or we can't go there. So this is Puerto Williams in Chile, South America. It's the farthest south city in the world. And on the day of the southern solstice, the sun is traveling around the Tropic of Capricorn. So in the middle of the night, when the sun is the farthest away from Puerto Williams, We can use flat Earth map. If there were any accurate maps, then we could use that. But we use just the azimuthal equidistant map, also called the Gleason map. But you can use whatever map you want, and choose the distance from Puerto Williams to the subsolar point. Now, this one here says 17,861 miles.
That's a lot.
That's a far distance. Yes. So now, if we take, how high do you think the sun is?
How high do I think it is? About 11 to 40 miles.
Oh my, that is low. That
11.
Very
Yeah, yeah.
11.
Where a plane can hit it.
I love this. That was so specific.
Insanely
11
low. Wow.
to 40 miles. No lower than 11.
I have video proof of it, so I'm gonna go off the video proof.
Everybody in the world can go outside today and disprove 40 miles. Because if you think about it, if you are in anywhere north of the Tropic of Cancer, anywhere more than 40 miles north, you can look up and you can say, wow, if that were that far away, it would be way less than 45 degrees.
Can I ask, how fast is the sun traveling?
Okay. How do I say this? The sun does a lot of weird stuff once you look at all the video evidence. Okay, so how do I say this? It'll rotate around and it'll probably move 15 degrees, like as it moves. But here's the one thing that caught me off guard. The sun stops moving.
The sun stops moving, does it?
Yeah, like completely. I have it on video. It completely stops moving for a while, and then it starts back up again. And I'm just like, why is it doing that? It's on video.
So nobody's noticed this, huh?
No, we just never thought anything of it.
And the Nobel Prize for solar astronomy goes to why you are an idiot.
Look, I'm gonna prove everything I say. I'm gonna make a video about it, and I'm gonna show it.
You're not going to prove anything because you can't prove anything. You might provide evidence.
The sun just stopped.
Oh, all right. So we're gonna go with it. So, Robin, we're gonna go with a more common example. The 3,000 miles is a very common elevation. So, and that's my example here. I did the math.
I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm trying to hold on, but it's whoa. Okay. Anyway, yes, please carry on.
All right. So, simple triangulation. This is 8th grade math class now, which may be a problem.
Yeah, 1 second.
If you didn't finish 8th grade science.
Before you continue, actually, can I ask you where what your qualifications are?
What are my qualifications?
Tune.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm just a regular guy doing regular life.
I graduated high school, so that qualifies me to do the math on the screen here.
Okay.
But I did study electrical engineering and computer science in college, and I've been a professional software engineer for my entire career. I've not been an electrical engineer, but I took all of the training.
Okay. And why you are an idiot?
Yeah, what about? You want to know? Oh, you want to know about me?
How did you get educated?
I went to school, graduated high school. Then I went to a little nursing program, and I became an EMT. And then I dropped out of that, joined the military, and then I eventually got out of the military and started working on my own things and what I want to do. And been doing it since, and I'm good. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
That sounds good. I like that.
So we're talking 40 miles high. How fast is it traveling?
Oh God, I wish I could say that. I wouldn't know. I'm not gonna lie. I just wouldn't know.
That's not hard to calculate.
I can't tell. Look, as much as 40 miles isn't really that high, I'd be making a guess. I'm not gonna go off a guess.
That's not a guess. Here's the thing. There is a point on Earth that is the subsolar point. Somebody is under the sun.
It's literally there, mate.
Yeah, I know.
So the sun would be there. If in your model, you'd be expecting it to be right overhead there in order for it to make any sense at all. Right?
Yeah. But I wouldn't know how fast.
So 40 miles, mate.
Okay, so if it's directly under or over a point, an hour later it's directly over another point. It is simple math to figure out how fast it had to move to go from point A to point B within a certain amount of time.
I don't know the size of the sun.
The size doesn't matter. The size doesn't change how fast it has to move in order for the subsolar point from one point to another.
Yeah, but the sun does the same thing pretty much every day. It rotates, every, they say every 24 hours, etc. But,
They say,
debate on that.
Yeah,
they don't know.
The nameless, faceless they that, except they would be apparently everybody in the world save for one who sees the sun go every day 24 hours.
Have you ever heard of a watch? People,
yes.
people like use them. They set their time, and they're able to know what time of day it is, and it's.
I know.
We've been doing it for like
the
centuries.
sun rotates around the earth. What do you want me to do? It's just like a watch.
So, all right. So, we want to get back to our triangle here. I know this might be difficult, but I'm going to try to walk us through it here. If we have this angle here that at Puerto Williams, Chile, we've got the that side that is 17,861 miles. Then we've got the side that is 3,000 miles, but it doesn't matter. It could be 11, and it'll just change the outcome a little bit. If it's 3,000 miles, we have side angle side. If you remember that from math, you can use that to solve the entire triangle. And you see there 9.51 degrees. That's the angular elevation of the sun above the horizon in the middle of the night. That's the most flat Earth friendly possible angular elevation. So, do we see that in the middle of the night in Chile? Now, I've not been there, but I would imagine the people in Chile down there, if the sun was 9.5 degrees above the horizon in the middle of the night, they might make a little stink about it. Now, everywhere else in the world, every day in the year, the sun is higher elevation in the middle of the night, according to the flat Earth model. Now, if you lower the sun to 11 miles, it's still a positive amount above the horizon in the middle of the night. It is not below the horizon, ever.
Okay.
So the sun cannot set.
And also, if 11, you reckon 11 miles?
Yes, I understand. Look, I'm going based off the physical evidence.
If you imagine, let's say you could say drive 20 miles, couldn't you?
Yeah. Fine.
So imagine if you were, say, 10 miles to the east of it, you could drive 20 miles in what?
An hour? Minutes.
Yeah, no, a few minutes even. Yeah.
A few minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so you could outrun the sun, and you'd be seeing on a completely different vector at that point, if it was that far away.
Well, it would
be the other side of you, so your shadow would have changed completely.
It depends. Our shadows do change when we drive around.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if for example, the sun is to your west, okay, and you drive 20 miles west, now it should be to your east.
Oh, no, not like that, not like that. That's assuming you're
in
right
that amount of time,
it.
mate, because it's up in the sky for quite a while.
Yeah, that's if you're right under it. If you're right under it, yeah, sure, you can go any which direction, and yeah, the shadows will change instantly. But that's if you're right under it. If not, then no, it's not going to happen.
You can get what, 20 miles in about 20 minutes, let's say?
Maybe. I don't think 20 minutes. A little longer. It has to be a little longer.
If it's straight road, for example.
Because last time someone drove like 7 miles in like
you got to
10 minutes.
Do you know anything about the inverse square law? Do you understand this principle at all?
Oh,
no, tell me about it.
Dangerous territory here.
Yeah, no, tell me about it.
It's how light works. You do understand this principle, right? No? Never heard of it before?
No, I just told you I haven't heard of it. Tell
This
me.
is why you're an idiot. Okay. So...
No, tell me. I want to hear it.
Okay, so basically the closer you are to something, the brighter the light is sort of like lighting up the area, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you go up, it gets dimmer as far as underneath it. So if you raise a light above the ground, the light is going to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer as you go up higher and higher and higher, right?
Yeah.
So 11 miles, it's going to be really bright underneath there. And the moment you're 10 miles away, you're now, 45 degrees at that point? Another 10 miles away, then you're down to about 30 degrees, I think it is. So by the time you're 20 miles away from the sun, 30 miles away from the sun, it will be over the horizon to you. Any mountain would start to obscure it at that point.
No, it didn't.
Well, of course it would.
Yeah, this is 8th grade math.
It would be dark.
No, it wouldn't because you guys are assuming.
All right, why are you an idiot? Did you finish 8th grade math?
Of course I did. I freaking graduated high school.
All right, good. All right, so we can.
I didn't care about school though. It was an indoctrination program.
But here's the thing:
that out in high school.
We're gonna use 8th grade math, and if you don't understand it, I don't care. That's on you, not me, not us, not the rest of the world, and it's not evidence for flat Earth because you don't understand it.
Okay, now hold on. Let me do something with you. How far is the sun in your model?
No, we're talking a disproof of the flat Earth model. When we're done, and I've destroyed.
How far is the sun in your model?
And we've destroyed the flat Earth model.
Exactly
then we can
1
talk about that.
AU away.
No, you haven't. You can't. I have video evidence of everything I see.
It is it is 1 astronomical unit away from us.
93 million miles, something like that?
Something like that.
Right? Yeah, 93 million miles, something like that?
Right.
Yep.
If I'm correct, last time I
It's
checked.
really, really big.
Yeah, and it's really, really big. Well, I see it close by. It's really small. Now, you guys really want to go into this. Okay, let's actually go into this and let me talk for a second.
No. We're not changing the topic here. We'll continue on the previous topic. Then you get your chance, okay?
Okay, finish.
So, please explain how the sun can set if it's actually above the Earth. How can it appear to set?
It's simple. You can do the same thing with a simple skateboard. Get a camera, go to the ground, try and find a flat piece of material, land that you're walking on, make it as flat as possible. Get a skateboard, put like a little stick on it with a little ball, and then get someone to just drag it away. And it will slowly disappear on its own. You don't even have to go that far. It'll slowly disappear on its own.
A skateboard isn't that. You need to get the same angles, okay?
Yeah.
So
you can apply the same concept to the sun.
Please explain how something
going away and we lose perspective of it.
I'm sorry. The perspective is when something shrinks as it goes farther away. It uniformly shrinks vertically and horizontally. That's what perspective is.
And that's what always happens.
I'm sorry. The sun does not ever shrink.
Yes, it's on video. I have it. Holy hell.
Oh.
It shrinks and it gets bigger and smaller all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you using a video that had no filter on it so that the glare of the sun was making it look big? You need to use proper photography. So
yes,
you do have video of the sun with a solar filter over the camera, and it shrinks and grows. I'd love to see
it literally, as it gets closer, it grows. As it goes away, it gets smaller.
With a solar filter on the camera.
Yes.
All right, I want to see it. I'm calling BS.
It's on. Oh my god.
Solar filter. I'm
gonna make a video about this afterwards to show everything.
Robin, I will pre-bunk his claim. There's no solar filter on his camera.
We've got a pre-bunk, everyone.
Okay.
Aruga, pre-bunk.
I'm going to show you a video of it. Once all this is over, once we're done having this, I'm going to make a video about it, showing everything I was talking about physically.
I look
imaginary.
I've pre-bunked it. All right. So now we've that was about perspective. What about how does the sun appear to set? How does the edge of the disk touch the horizon? How does the center of the disk cross the horizon? How does the top of the disk cross the horizon?
Well, it actually depends. I think it has more to do with how clear the day is, because I noticed when it comes to the atmospheric density, I noticed that when there's more atmospheric density, it seems to not hit the horizon and it seems to disappear before it hits it. But when there's less, it seems to automatically hit the horizon. You can see it on video. So
yes,
my belief is that the atmospheric density is getting in the way.
Okay, density. Are you confusing that with refraction?
No. There's literal atmospheric density. It's on video, where because the atmosphere is just basically dry water. It's not completely unsolid, so to speak. But once you get a certain
dry water,
distance,
yes, dry water that's very cold.
I'm sorry. The atmosphere is primarily nitrogen, secondarily oxygen, and less than 1% of everything else, including carbon dioxide and water, dissolved in the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it still has
it's not dry. It's not dry water. It certainly has a density, yes, and the density causes changes in the index of refraction.
Yes.
All right. So is that what you mean? The index of refraction? That would be. We're talking about Snell's law.
Well,
are you familiar? Are you familiar with Snell's law?
No. I don't know anything about Snell's law.
All right. So you're not qualified to talk about this.
Tell me about it.
Please continue.
No. Tell me about Snell's law. I want to hear it first.
All right. Snell's law talks about refraction. Refraction of light. Light slows down as it passes from a medium that is has a lower index of refraction to a higher index of refraction, and it bends towards the higher index of refraction.
Okay.
So in our atmosphere, we have we call it often it's called a density gradient, but it's even better to talk about an index of refraction gradient, because there's more things than just the density of the air that are affected. Carbon dioxide levels, and the moisture in the air, the water dissolved in the air affected as well. Temperature affects it. So all of these things go together to create an index of refraction gradient. Now, there are times where over the lowest part of the atmosphere has wildly varying indexes of refraction. And that's when
that's very true. That's very true.
Yes, and you see the sunset, and you see these Fata Morgana, superior mirage, inferior mirage. You see all sorts of things like that. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it makes observations very difficult, because we don't know what's going on, and we don't know all of the properties of the air between the observer and the object being observed. So it makes it tough. So it's best to try to find examples where there's the smallest amount of inconsistent refraction. So when we look at the sun setting, and it's a good clear view, and there's not lots of refraction, we can see the edge of the sun touch the horizon, and we can see the center of the sun pass the horizon, and the top of the sun then cross the horizon, and that's the final part of sunset. So how, if the sun is above, does that happen? How do we see the sun set when it's actually physically above the land that it appears to go behind?
Yeah, no, it's as simple as this. Even on a clear day, it's just our perspective. The farther it goes away.
I'm sorry, perspective is not causing obstruction. It doesn't obscure things. Perspective causes things to appear smaller as they go away. It doesn't appear it doesn't cause the bottom of something to be obscured. Perspective doesn't do that. You're just using an ad hoc excuse.
Yes,
So
it does.
please explain. Please
We've
explain
all
how.
seen
No,
it
no.
happen.
I
You can
no,
create.
but
I told you, you can
I've
create the same effect where it'll look like it's lowering.
I'm
Where
sorry.
it will literally
That
look
is
like it's
not.
lowering,
That is
and
not
half of
perspective.
it will go away, and then you bring it back, and it'll still show the whole
That
thing.
is not perspective. Perspective makes things shrink as they get smaller. It doesn't cause things to be obscured as they get farther away. So please explain, using a known physical phenomenon, how does the sun appear to fall behind the horizon?
That it's normal. It's our perspective.
It is not perspective. Perspective
It
causes
is.
things to
It is
shrink.
because the sun is moving away, and it slowly gets smaller, and then it slowly goes behind the horizon. It's that simple. It's not some overcomplicated thing.
No, you're inventing something here. You're
I'm
using
not.
the wrong
I'm going
term.
based off what I see.
No, but you're using then what you see and trying to shoehorn it into your belief system. Okay, you need to use an actual physical known phenomenon to describe how something goes behind and gets obscured. Perspective does not obscure.
So basically, what you're saying is, I can't trust my eyes. I can't trust your eyes. I can't trust his eyes. None of us can trust our own eyes.
Not at all. I'm not saying that one bit. I'm saying that we absolutely can see the sun being obscured by the horizon. And I'm asking you to be honest and explain to me, using known physical phenomenon, how that happens if the sun is actually above.
Yeah.
And you're saying perspective, but perspective causes things to shrink, not disappear.
Yes, it's going to eventually disappear because we have a limit to our eyes. We're not superhuman.
I'm sorry. So do you think that the bottom of the sun is farther away than the top of the sun?
No,
is that why it's happening?
They're both. The sun is just moving away.
Yes, but
it's
why?
That simple.
Why does the bottom of it appear to move to be obscured by the edge of the Earth?
Because it's going to go bottom down. That's how it looks. That's how it's supposed to look.
Okay, so
it's supposed to look like it's going bottom down.
Because it looks that way, the Earth is flat. Okay. So Robin, I suggest he has no answer to this. He thinks he does.
I have an answer. You just don't like my answer.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's that it's not a thing. I don't like it
because it's not really an answer.
You're just making up stuff here.
I'm not making up stuff. I'm going to make a video about everything. I'm going to show everyone that I was telling the truth.
I don't talk about your future video. Let's talk about
why
it right
you
now.
Are an idiot. You really need to get yourself a shorter name, to be honest with you, mate. That's one thing we need to.
Could we just say Mr. and then his last name?
You're not wowing me. Satellites,
I told you,
for example.
Call me W.
You don't think satellites exist, or those are also orbiting in a very, very peculiar fashion.
The only evidence I have for satellites is the ISS satellite, and then I pretty much debunked that real easily, because Red Rhetoric was the one who made the video, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, because it was the first time I saw it, and it only took me like 2 hours, and then I figured it out. I'm like, okay, well, there's an issue here.
Do you know what
this is where the issue is.
Can I ask you? Do you know what a transceiver is?
That's where you pick up the reception, right? If I'm correct.
Well, it's both.
Okay.
You can ping satellites. You know that.
Yeah, I know. I've heard. Yeah, they talked to me about that. You can ping satellites. You can do this. You can do that. And I'm just like,
all you need is a satellite. All you need is a satellite dish. Point it towards a satellite that you're expecting to be there, and you can ping it and detect exactly how far it is.
Yeah, here's where the issue comes in. It's not so much that I don't believe NASA's putting things up there. I don't believe they're in space. I believe they're just right in the atmosphere.
Riding the atmosphere.
Here in the atmosphere.
How is this? How do these things happen in the atmosphere? How do they just stay there?
I don't know. I'm not NASA. I'm not the one who makes these things.
Oh. Well, NASA doesn't really make any satellites that, for the most part. Yeah. For example, the one that just went up on Falcon Heavy was made by Lockheed Martin, launched by SpaceX, and owned by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So NASA was involved only by the launch pad and some of the the regulation. So NASA didn't launch it.
Yeah.
So Lockheed Martin made this for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at the cost of many millions of dollars.
Yep.
So now, how is that up there? It's pretty heavy. So how does it just float there?
Oh,
if
no.
it's in our atmosphere?
Oh, I don't think it's floating. I think it's flying. You know how we have planes, drones, stuff like that? I believe it's flying.
Those have wings and are aerodynamic.
Now, let me explain. So, you know how you guys are saying satellites are, up in space or Earth orbit, etc. Well,
Yes.
Red Rhetoric said the same thing. Red Rhetoric, he even said he can measure how far the ISS is. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you're insane.
Do you at least understand orbital dynamics? At least you've looked into this.
Well, let me finish talking before I answer.
No,
that.
I just want to know that you've at least looked at it.
The orbital dynamics?
Orbital dynamics, yes.
No. I haven't looked at it yet. So this is my first time hearing about it.
But get ready, people. He's going to debunk it.
So there's a lot of things that you need to be able to debunk before this is like a done deal here.
Yeah. Here's where the issue comes
Orbital
in.
dynamics works.
After Red posted up his video, okay, I looked into my own thing, and I wanted to see something. So he had a video of the ISS passing by the moon. No issue there. And I eventually ran into something interesting. I have a video of a satellite balloon literally passing by the moon. No big deal. It's just a satellite balloon. You stick a balloon on it, you send it up in the atmosphere, it flies around. Here's where the video gets an issue. And here's where the issue comes in for Red. This satellite balloon was passing by the moon, and it was casting a shadow on the moon. A literal shadow on the moon, which means, assuming the satellite is as high as they said it is, it's between 11 to 40 miles high, depending on which type of satellite, balloon satellite it was, and how high it was able to get. That's why I say the sun and moon are only 11 to 40 miles high, because that shadow.
And this has only happened once.
That shadow was casting on the moon. So since that shadow was casting on the moon, what am I going to do? I'm going to ignore it? No.
Can I ask you?
Can I
just ask you a question?
Which one's closer, the ISS or the satellite?
Can I ask you a question? Has that happened? Has that happened more than once?
Has that happened more than once? I believe it actually has happened more than once.
No,
but
I mean, when I say more than once, I mean all the time, for it to be even remotely true.
Okay,
absolutely every time that would have to happen.
My satellite balloon video, and then we have what I would call the flat Earth sunspot, where it shows that the sun is really close, and it's literally creating a flashlight dot, how you kind of do it on a wall, on the clouds, and it looks very, very close. It does not look far. It looks exactly like I was saying.
So it looks close, therefore it's close.
No, it is close.
Good job using things that we can do to measure stuff.
I'm sorry, but there's a limit to how far you can measure up in the sky.
And what is that limit, please? Do you have some sort of academic research paper that shows us the limit?
Based off everything I'm seeing, it's between every single balloon.
So
listen.
By the power of personal incredulity, I declare that's impossible.
Let him go,
please.
My
God.
Please. This is great.
Okay.
No. I told you I'm going to prove everything, but like I was saying,
it's all
basically when you send up a balloon,
right?
Anyone could do this. You can send up a balloon, probably spend a few $1,000s, and then usually most balloons tap out around 120,000, usually around there. Okay, that's where it usually taps out, and then it falls to the ground. Now, when it comes to beyond that, I have no other reference to go higher than that. I have nothing other that can go higher than that I know of. I think the highest jet went in 90,000 miles in the air.
90,000 miles.
But 90,000. My bad. 90,000 feet.
Okay.
My mistake. 90,000 feet, not 90,000 miles. But that's as high as that jet was able to go. This balloon was able to go higher.
You can go about 62.
After that, I have nothing else to go off of. The rest is speculation and math. And I can do math on this freaking paper right here. That's not going to prove how high something is. It's guesswork. So that's why I say I don't know how fast the sun is moving.
Maths
I don't know how
isn't
high it is.
guesswork,
I'm making
mate.
an estimate based off what I have.
You don't guess at maths. That's the whole point of maths.
Yeah, there's
So
guesswork.
you
in
don't
that.
have to
A whole
guess.
lot of guesswork.
Guesswork like
You
what?
want, here, I'm gonna give you. You guys want me to give you a math problem? A simple math problem?
All right, I'll get my calculator.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna give you a simple math problem, okay? All right. There's a tree. You don't know how tall it is. You are 20 feet away from the tree.
Right.
Use your height and the angle that you have, your height and the angle that you have, to measure the tree. Now, I don't want you to write this on paper. I want you to apply this in real life.
A times
I
by
want you to go
itself
outside.
plus, was it, we're talking about Pythagoras, isn't it?
There you go.
Look, I'm just giving you a simple problem. I want you to apply this to real life. Okay,
Right.
Go outside, walk 20 feet, and then tell me how tall that tree is using your height, the angle, and the 20 feet.
Well, it's been a while
Tell
since
me.
I've had to do that, but I usually expect a gold star afterwards.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
20
give
feet
you, I'll
away.
give you a nice gold star when you can look at it and tell me how tall it is.
I'm ready. I'm ready. What's
It's
the
called
angle?
triangulation.
What's the angle?
Yes.
I don't know. Go find out a tree. Go find a tree outside. Pick one.
Okay.
Make sure it's pretty big too.
We
Make
need
sure
to
it's pretty
get
big.
we need to get something to measure the angle. Let's call it an angleometer. I have one of those. In my garage here, so I could measure that. So let's should we invent some numbers just for fun then? Let's say it's 10 degrees. Oh, let's make it easier. Let's say it's 45 degrees. All right, so I lay down on the ground, I use my angleometer, and I measure 45 degrees, and I know I'm 20 feet away. I can tell you the top of the tree is 20 feet high. Next problem, please.
No. Apply it to real life and then talk to me.
That was
That's
really
the difference. That's the difference between what I believe and you believe. You believe you can do things on paper. When you apply that same paper to real life, guess
Are you
what?
suggesting that
Not
that
the
tree
same.
is not 20 feet tall if I can measure it to be 45 degrees and 20 feet away from me?
Go
Is
for
that
it.
your suggestion here?
Go for it. Go outside and do it. Pick a tree. Make sure it's big too.
We've all
Don't
done
pick
this.
A small
We've all
little
done this test.
five-foot
don't-
tree.
What
I
is
don't
your point here,
understand
mate?
what are you going at here?
What I'm going at is that math that you're talking about, that you're so held by, that math is a joke. It's not 100% fact.
How?
So you
how,
don't
how,
understand-
no,
lot of
no, no,
guesswork.
no. How many percent isn't it?
It depends. If it's physical, the more physical it is, the easier it is, and the closer it is, the better. Meaning, that tree outside, yeah, you can get some equipment and you can measure. I believe that. You can get some equipment,
Actually, it's
you
the
can measure,
wider
and
the
you can
angle,
figure it
the
out.
better.
But if you want to do the moon, the sun, the ISS, stuff like that, no. You either go up there and check out and find out
No,
yourself.
no.
or
There's
guess
no need
what?
for that, mate. There's no need for that sort of thing. Like I
Yeah.
said.
No. There is.
No,
'Cause I'm not gonna believe you saying you can do
We
parallels
already
and all that.
established, mate. You did say about the speed of light, right? You were happy
Yeah.
with the fact that the speed of light is a thing. Were you
Yeah,
not?
I don't know how fast it is, but it depends.
Okay, you don't. Okay, there's a number. Here's a Google search for you. Speed of light.
Yeah, I'm not going to believe that number. I've read
Okay, well-
different articles from different newspapers from the past saying, oh, the speed of light changed. Oh, the speed of light is this. Oh, the speed of light. I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know. And I'd rather
Who said-
say I don't know than lie.
I'm amazed that you've read this.
I would love to see these papers, and maybe you and I together could get these, and we could get the Nobel Prize together. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
there's news articles all like, oh, Einstein was wrong, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Ooh, dude, get those. If we could disprove Einstein, money. Oh, big money. Let's do it, man. I'm with you.
I'm not trying to disprove anything. This has nothing to do with me trying to.
I thought you just said that Einstein
here-
was wrong.
Do I think he's human? He has to be wrong about some things. He's human. Even I'm wrong about some things.
No. His
I'm
theory,
sure
the
at
relativity.
some point or another he did make some sort of error in judgment.
Yeah, everyone does.
Right. What was wrong about what he did with, say, relativity? Gravity.
Oh, when he.
What did he do wrong?
There's a lot
What
of
did he get?
history
What
on
did he
that.
miss?
Basically, what they're. This isn't my research. Okay,
You're fumbling around here. I don't know if you have
someone
anything.
else's. This is someone else's. Okay. They were saying that the whole relativity thing was just a theory they put out to try and explain gravity and a whole bunch of other things because they didn't have an answer. So
that's what science does. That's the whole point of it, is to find an answer, come up with it, as you say.
Yeah, they just came up with it. They didn't do any proving to it. They just made it up. That's the story.
Right.
Now,
okay.
whether that's true or not,
here's one for you, mate. As far as gravity is concerned, you understand that they're saying that it bends space. Okay.
Yeah. What about the whole bend space here?
The space that is near an object bends a little bit or a lot, depending. Okay. One of the things you can tell is where, say, a star is supposed to be in relation to, say, the sun. Now, if you have, say, a solar eclipse, something like that, what you can do is you can wait for that solar eclipse and then record the star on the corona. And if you look really closely, you'll see that star's ever so slightly off.
Okay.
That's what was proven through what you call made up by Einstein to prove gravity.
Yeah, there's
the calculation that somebody did. If you look into it, mate. So people basically were measuring where a star was and where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, how far was that star?
Very far away. But the light that was coming to us was just scraping the edge of the sun, just a little bit. Very difficult to see when we've got the sun glaring in our face. But with a solar eclipse, of course, it basically obscures it. So you're able to actually see behind. That's how they could tell whether there was enough mass in the sun to bend space enough. And it did.
What evidence? I hear words. What evidence do you have of this?
Okay. Oh, gotta go.
It's going to be over his head. He doesn't get 8th grade science, so this is past.
So it's gravitational lensing. It's called.
I'm sorry, I can't go off blind faith.
No, this isn't blind faith.
Graduate level science here. So.
Yeah, this is gravitational lensing. You understand that when space bends, there will be some lensing.
Yeah. Here's where the issue comes. Here, let me explain how I see
You understand
this,
that principle at least, yes?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so if there's something of big mass that bends that space, you're going to get a bit of lensing.
Yeah. God, those voices in the background.
Sorry.
No, it's just, here, let me explain. Okay? So, when I was young, when I was a kid, they told me, the core of the earth and gravity, all that. Okay? And I was like, okay, that's true. And then a few years later, they changed it to, now it's space is pushing everything in, and that's how we get our gravity. And then it went from that
no, mate.
to
Nobody.
now. No. Listen. Now matter.
Nobody has postulated this, mate. I don't know where you're getting your idea from there.
So
nobody is postulating this.
Written and documented. This is written and documented.
Space is pushing us in.
You gotta understand, they're changing this is the third time they've changed the theory. So it's like, why should I believe anything you guys are saying?
So here's what happens in science, right? When you're being taught science, you get taught the basic level stuff.
Sorry, guys.
And when you move up to the more complicated things, you understand bigger reasons. For example, you might learn in introductory science how to apply the formula for how fast something accelerates. When you move on up to the next level, you might use calculus to derive that formula. It's a whole different thing. Then you'd move up farther to graduate level things and examine how that actually happens, the mechanism that causes it to happen. That's what you're seeing there. They're not changing things. It's getting more complicated.
No.
So you do need to have a basis of understanding in order to understand something else.
This is my personal belief. Okay.
This is his personal incredulity.
We have I've been taught 3 different things about gravity, but the one main thing that causes an issue for me is the core. I can't prove the core. I can't prove gravity. So I completely eliminate gravity from the equation. So I don't believe in gravity. I don't believe it exists. You see this
What
phone here?
equation are you talking about? What else is part of this equation? Because once you've removed gravity from this equation, now you have to sort of inject something in order to explain. Because gravity does a job. Gravity does a job. You've just got rid of gravity now, but it's doing a job. We're falling about 9 meters per second, right? Towards the ground, no matter what. All the time. No matter how hard you jump up, you're always coming down at the same speed, no matter what.
Okay, Mum.
Yes.
So, what's doing that then, if not gravity?
There doesn't need to be anything. We live on a flat plane, so why would we need it?
Well, we need something to explain what is accelerating us down at 9.8 meters per second.
That's assuming we're accelerating down, unless you jump down.
Oh, that's
jump off
measured.
the building, yeah, you're accelerating.
That's
I'm not accelerating down right now.
That's a measured observation. So you can't just say nah, nah, nah. That's something that we can measure. How do you explain that measurement all over the face of the Earth of 9.8 meters per second squared down?
Yeah, it's nothing. There's nothing. There is nothing. Okay. Now, if you want to explain how things are staying up there, I have a theory. That I can, No.
I think you have a bigger problem.
For gravity? No, I just don't believe it exists.
You have replaced gravity with nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. So,
I guess
I'm okay with that.
Kind of my job here is I think to not. I mean, I'm not trying to convince you, W. I'm just trying to illustrate to everybody listening how the flat Earth theory is empty and fails. And thank you, W, very much for allowing me this opportunity. This is super fun.
No, it's fun for me because I already know I'm going to prove you all wrong, so it's not hard. It's really not hard. I told you I'm going to make a video about it.
Oh.
And it's going to be so easy because I prove my words because I'm an honest guy. I try to be as honest as I possibly can.
Science does not concern itself with proof. It concerns itself with disproof.
He has been honest, though, by saying he doesn't know anything about that.
Yep.
Because I'm okay with not knowing everything.
No, well,
like you guys,
that's understandable.
Everything,
but the things that you don't know, you start to question, and then the things that somebody does know, you then question
but then
that.
After a certain point, it's gonna be like, okay, there has to be something physical here to show. If I can't find anything, I toss it out. I throw it away.
That's right. So now, but you've now lost gravity. So now we're just floating up into the air, as far as you're concerned. Why are we floating?
Why aren't we floating up in the air?
Well, we are floating now because we've just lost gravity.
No, because there is no space. You would need space to be floating up. Now, if you want to think it's electromagnetics, that's up to you, but I don't think so.
So, what when you say space doesn't exist, what do you mean? Do you mean that there's nothing up there? That there's
this thing called a universe, outer space, it doesn't exist. Basically, you go up high enough and you hit the dome.
And your evidence for this, then, please?
Oh, my evidence for this? Yeah.
Siri, what are asteroids?
I got several rockets hitting the dome. Which one do you want to go through?
You've got several asteroids literally coming out of the sky and sort of like searing across and exploding mid-air. Asteroids.
Where'd you get this sandwich from?
Oh,
where are they coming from?
No, come on, we're living in country.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's the people in the background.
Yes, but I'm asking you, like meteorites. Where are these coming from?
Oh no, I don't believe these are meteorites at all anymore. I used to, and then I started looking into it, and I'm all like, wait, there isn't a single freaking rock falling from the sky. There should be thousands upon thousands all the time. The ISS should have been destroyed a long time ago. Rock moving at 10,000 miles an hour?
No, you've got to understand there definitely was. It's been about 4.5 billion years of that happening. It's slowed down.
Where'd you get the billions of years from? But no, the
about
meteors
4.5 billion years.
No, the meteors, asteroid stuff, I don't believe it anymore. I looked into it and I was just like, okay.
So how old do you think? So how old do you think the Earth? How old do you think the Earth is?
I'm gonna give you an estimate: 5,000, 6,000. It could be a little more.
Why 5,000 or 6,000?
Nothing over 10,000. Nothing over 10,000.
Nothing over 10,000, even though there are civilizations, say, sort of like sort of Mediterranean, that sort of thing, that are older than 10,000 years old.
Once you look at all this history, I'm talking about real history, not some made up.
No,
carbon
not
dating,
made up
not
either. Not made up either.
Crap.
There is what is it? Before the Acadians. Trying to remember the name of them now, but there is definitely a civilization that's older than 10,000 years.
No. All evidence points to the fact that this place is only a few thousand years old. All of it. I'm a religious guy, so I have to read religious books. And once you start looking into these religious books, you're like, holy shit, there's only a few thousand years of history. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, I know. So I don't give you this if you don't.
But it's like, because I can match a bunch of, other ancient, civilizations to the Bible and the Quran and other religions. And it's like, okay, so this place is like,
yeah, but
it's
those
like
are
one big
those are
connection.
religious
It's one big
books.
story.
There's other books apart from religious books.
Yes, I know. But there's a limit to what I'm saying. And what I mean by limit, what I mean is, here, I'll give an example. So if let's say you find like an ancient civilization and you find like their money and their coin says 1600, or, it gives the name of the king that was around during that time. You're going to base it off the name of the king or the date on it, etc. That's what you're going to base it off. And every single time, it's only a few thousand years old. Every single time.
Yes, around 10,000, yeah.
So it really, it really depends on, who you take it from. But based off all my research, this place is only a few thousand years old. We're nothing new. We're just next in line.
So where is your research coming from exactly?
Oh, where's my research coming from? Oh, basically what happens is, when you start studying religion, you want to prove that, some of these places existed, etc. And you want to prove the story. Here, I'll give an example. The Egyptians are said to go past 10,000 years. They are said to go past 10,000 years. But once you actually start looking at their hieroglyphs and etc., the hieroglyphs spell out the story of the Bible. And the Bible is only about a few thousand years old, 5,000, 6,000.
So you can decipher the Egyptian hieroglyphs, is that what you're saying?
Not 100%. I can decipher a little bit of it based off some of my research and study. So I can't decipher all of it, of course, no. Some of it I can. But yeah, look, I'll tell you something that you think is crazy.
We're finally finding where your level of knowledge is.
Look, I will show you something.
I mean,
I
couldn't decipher any Egyptian hieroglyphs, mate. So more power to you. But you understand that you may have lacked education in another part of the field.
Everyone lacks education in another part.
So obviously yours is basically archaeology, and obviously digging up old ruins.
Yeah,
but not
like
really
here,
anything
a lot
to
of
do with
people think
astrophysics.
that
So nothing to do with astrophysics at all.
Yeah. No, it's just a lot of people think that the people of the past were really dumb. Turns out they had cars, airplanes, helicopters. Yeah.
Over to you,
I'm
Mr.
just
Toon.
like,
I'm just going to go for a smoke.
I was surprised. I was surprised when I found that out.
Oh, dude, you're so funny.
Well, I can prove it.
Oh, sure you can. All right, so
I'm gonna prove it. I told you.
You
I am.
were unable to explain using physical phenomena and how the sun sets. Could you explain how the moon does not change in angular size through the night?
Oh God, the moon's the hardest. I think the sun's easier. The moon's the hardest one. The moon is. It's, how do I say this? The moon, I'm not gonna lie, it's sort of a mystery to me because it does some stuff. I know why it does what it does, but there's some stuff I don't understand. So
okay,
why doesn't the moon change in angular size?
Yeah,
that's one thing I don't know. Like I don't think I've ever seen the moon change in angular size. If it has, I never noticed it. The sun does a ton of things I can see it's just weird, but the moon, I haven't seen much from it. I've seen a few weird things here and there, but since it's dark and it's nighttime, it's hard to get like a real glimpse at everything that's going on.
Sure, that's fair. So to be clear, it does change very slightly, 1% about, and throughout the year it changes a little bit, but it is a small amount of angular size. If it's local, though, perspective demands that when it's closest, it's largest, and when it's farthest, it's smallest. So, but I'll take that. All right. So how do you think the Earth's magnetic field behaves?
When it comes to the magnetics of the Earth, I believe it's lifting. How do I say this? I believe it's lifting the sun and the moon up. I believe that's what it's there for.
All right,
that's
let's ignore that for a second, because that's more. Oh my goodness! So let's forget that. So have you played with a magnetic compass?
Yes.
All right, where does it point?
It always points north.
It always points north.
Yes.
Are you sure of that? Would you like to maybe review your answer?
Well, that's what I remember when I was playing with it. Now, this is a while ago, but
okay.
You know.
So do you know what magnetic declination is?
No, tell me.
Okay, so the magnetic field does not point absolutely north. It does in some places. For example, in Minnesota, where I am, it does. It goes right near the Mall of America is the actual 0 point, the line for magnetic declination. But in different places, it points different angles. So do you think that the flat Earth has a North Pole magnet right in the center, and then everything just points straight north from there?
No, I believe the magnetism is inside the Earth.
Yeah, but
I don't believe in a magnetic center.
Okay, so you're just going to reject observation then?
This is based off my observation.
Okay,
my observation is that I'm not saying there isn't magnetism towards that direction, but what I'm saying is that it's coming from inside the Earth.
Oh, that's absolutely. I don't dispute that, but I'm asking what you think how you think it behaves.
It depends. Let's assume it was a center. Let's assume there's a magnet at the center. If, let's say, you were on the left side of the Earth, it would start pointing towards, the direction of the center. And if you're on the bottom side, it would start pointing towards the center. And if you're on the top, this is an assumption. I don't know for sure.
What's to the left of the Earth? Where are we?
Oh my goodness. Do you mean like east, north, south, east, west could use that? Because that's a little more common.
Yeah, basically, it would be the center, and no matter if you are on north, east, south, west, it would always point towards the center. Now, that's not 100% me factual, but that's what some flat earthers say. If it's true, okay, it's true. If it's not, I don't know.
Okay,
sorry,
so
I don't have a boat to go sail around and check this out.
So, we don't need to do that because we're going to use science instead of zeticism here. So, do you know that when ship navigators lay their courses, they need to understand very well where the current declination is for their area.
Okay.
So, if for example they're in the Pacific Ocean and the declination is 10 degrees to the east, if they don't take that into account and then they fly, for example, due west, they're actually going to be 10 degrees off course. And over the course of an hour, 2 hours, a couple days when they're on a ship, they're going to be way off course. So they have to have a really good understanding of declination. And maps have this. Navigational maps have this. You can get them for yourself. If you search for ONC U Texas, you can find them. Those are the ones I use to satisfy Flat Out Heroes challenge. Each of those maps has a declination chart on it. So that declination is because the Earth's magnetic field is a bit inconsistent, but mostly it's because it has a north magnetic pole near the North Pole and the south magnetic pole, which is south of Australia.
Okay.
Now, if the Earth is flat, you could take a magnet, like a horseshoe-shaped magnet, and place one at the North Pole and one at the south magnetic pole. But declination wouldn't work. It would point very differently. For example, in South Africa, declination would point straight north. That's not what we observe. In South Africa, the actual declination is 26 degrees west.
Okay.
So now I know that this is maybe beyond what you've looked at, but here's a little more to the point. The actual the field strength is another one. It's a little easier to understand. If the North magnetic pole is where it is, and if the South magnetic pole is where it is on the flat Earth,
yes.
As you move farther away from these poles, the strength of that field will decrease. So, Robin, are you there? Could you bring up that magnetic field intensity? All right, so he's maybe not there. What we observe in real life, and we can see this if you want, you can go on to some websites that pull this up, many websites, so there's plenty of corroboration of this information.
Oh, okay, yeah, physical evidence?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you.
Yeah, so the magnetic field strength is at its lowest right around Brazil in South America there. And then as you go, that makes sense somewhat on flat Earth, but not quite. So you see the South magnetic pole is on the opposite side of the North magnetic pole when you're in Brazil, when you're in South America. But what happens is the field strength starts to increase as you go farther south. So now when you're down towards our friendly place of Fort Williams, we see the same, we see an increasing in the magnetic strength.
Okay.
So on the flat Earth, that doesn't work at all because the poles are way in the wrong spot. So maybe a little something for you to think about there. That's a good solid disproof, which is what we do, disproof of flat Earth, because the magnetic field strength doesn't match observations.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I have no issue with it. Like the reason I have no issue with it is because I don't believe in the magnetic center. The whole magnetic center thing? Sorry, I don't believe in it.
So personal incredulity again. That's your favorite thing.
No, it's just every flat earther has their own way of going about things. Like if you talk to certain flat earthers, like you had that 3,000 mile high, sky dome, or somewhere around there, estimated, or the sun and moon, however you want it. Yeah, that comes from other flat earthers, not me. Not me. You heard me say that I believe the sun and moon are probably 11, maybe 40 miles high.
Yeah,
estimated.
And we could certainly go into that, and that is, I think, the craziest thing you've said, because here in Minnesota, if the sun is 40 miles high, and it's over in the middle of winter, over the Tropic of Capricorn, it is thousands and thousands of miles away, yet it's 40 miles high. How can it be that high in the sky? It doesn't make sense. There's no phenomenon that makes it look like that. And you'll say perspective, but perspective makes it appear lower, not higher.
You understand that,
right? So here you
are.
You have just a blind faith. Blind, just ignoring all known observations.
No,
damn those observations. Damn reality. I want it to be that way so bad that I'm just going to make up this crap and believe it and ask other people to believe it, or they're idiots.
No. Here's the difference. Why I believe what I believe. I have physical evidence for what I believe. You do not have
physical evidence.
Yes, I do.
40-mile-high sun appear to be 20 degrees in elevation in Minnesota in the middle of the winter. You do not have evidence for that.
Look, based off my model, the sun and moon are pretty much around the same height. So that would also make the moon 11 to 40 miles high, estimated.
You've got to understand that for 12 other degrees on the map, okay, they see the sun.
What about it?
You've got to understand that for half of the planet is in the sun. Half of it.
Yeah.
Not just a little spot that the sun's over the top of.
Yeah.
The moment you get 45 miles away, let's say you're 40 miles in the air. The moment you're 40 miles away, that's now at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, what
you
about
understand that, right?
Yes, I understand what you're
just
saying.
Just in 45 miles, and there's thousands and thousands of miles.
Yes.
it's going to be so low in the sky. It's going to be, you can't even see how low. It's going to be right on the edge of the sky in the middle of the day.
Here's
Explain how, using known physical phenomenon, how a sun can be 40 miles high and 10,000 miles away and appear 20 degrees high.
Yeah, and
Now,
only show
here
up
is
in say, Iceland.
Okay, but listen to me. Here's the first time I'm going to be using something I can't prove 100%. Like, I have evidence for it, but it's not 100%.
Well, so far, everything all of us have talked about, we cannot prove. Just be clear on that.
No, this is the one thing that I'm saying right now that I'm not 100%. I 100% can't prove. This is my belief. Okay, I'm gonna go into my belief now. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this. My God, He created light without a sun, without a moon. Okay, so even if the sun was gone, if I was to remove the sun, there'd still be light here. Now, probably not as much as before, but there would still be light.
And where would that light be coming from?
Now, this is a belief. This is a belief. The rest of the stuff I said is 100%. I can prove it as fact. This right here, this one's a belief. I can't prove this as fact. But the rest of the stuff, I'm going to post it on my channel, make a video about it, and show it. This is my belief. There is light without the sun and moon. God can do that.
All right, so your answer is magic. Got it.
Hey, there's a dome. Everyone can see it.
Nobody has ever seen the dome.
I see it every day.
You imagine it every day.
No, I can see the water above the dome every day when I walk outside.
What's above the
just
water?
Because you think it's blue.
What's above the water of the dome?
Water's not blue. Water's clear.
Yeah, when you add light for some reason, it turns blue.
1 second.
Just like in
one
an
second,
aquarium.
1 second, mate. 1 second. You're saying that you've got the dome, a glass dome, or at least a glass type substance that you don't quite know.
Yeah.
Is it some?
And there's water above it.
And there's water above it. Okay.
Yes.
Above the dome, there's water.
Yeah.
And then what's
that's why the sky's blue.
Okay. So. Okay. I'm not going to. What's above the water?
Another layer. There's another layer holding the water in, and then once you get past that, you're in heaven. And no, I'm not joking. God is only a few miles away. He's not far.
Over 40 at least.
Yes, over 40. Yes, over 40.
So he's a good commute away, is what you're saying to me.
Yeah, he's a good commute, assuming we can make it even past
God
the dome.
is a commute away from you. You've heard it here first, folks.
How high is the dome?
Based off my study, it's between 150 to 250 miles.
Okay.
It's close. Everything is close.
So why isn't the sun all the way up there?
You arrived. How did you arrive at this number?
Okay, so I was doing research on the rocket launch that hit the dome, and
the rocket launch that hit the dome. I beg your pardon. What?
This is a good one.
Yeah, there's a rocket launch.
Hold on, Robin. Just for background of this, could you bring up the Falcon Heavy montage image?
Okay, 1 second.
There was a rocket. Yeah, you could put that up. But there was a rocket that hit the dome. Okay, and I looked at that number, and I'm just like, okay, it's 70 something. Okay, let me look into other rockets that have been launched. Okay, and if I'm correct, it took around like 90 seconds or something like that to hit it. So we have an estimate of 90 seconds before it hit it. So then I was all like, okay, I know what it's shaped like. It's shaped like a tent. Okay, so in the center it would take a little longer. But we got like 70 something miles, okay, on one side. Okay, so I'm just like, okay, well, let's add another few seconds to it. How long and how much more time would it take? And I started looking at rocket launches, several rocket launches. One rocket, it took, if I'm correct, 144 seconds to hit the dome, and then another one took
100 to hit the dome.
Seconds. Huh?
So it hit the dome.
Yeah, I have it on video.
In 144 seconds.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And so you
How fast was it
calculated the
traveling?
acceleration and the distance. Then you did this math.
Huh?
You did the
Oh no,
math.
people
to
did the
calculate-
math for me. No, people did the math for me.
Oh, and what did they say? How fast
Which
was
I
it
found
going?
funny because they were trying to make fun of me. They're all like,
How
oh,
fast
and I'm
did they
just
say
like,
it
oh,
was
thank you
going
again.
when it hit the dome?
Huh?
How fast did they say it was going when it hit the dome?
Not slow, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
I
how
have to look at the
fast,
time
though?
again. I'd have to look at the time again.
Okay,
But
off you
it
go.
wasn't going slow, I'll tell you that much.
That probably won't take long, will it? You've got all of this data to hand.
Yeah, some of them exploded, some of them did not. It, depends on,
So if I could give some background information here, these were some of the rocket tests from the 60s when they were exploring how these things worked. And they had a lot of early failures, as expected when you're doing this kinds of thing, because a rocket is basically a controlled explosion. And many of these had problems when they got up high. They had navigational problems and directional problems. And so they had things just
Yeah.
sometimes explode, as we saw, the different recent explosion, like Falcon 9 had a problem a couple years ago on the launch pad. But also some of them had problems where they were off course. They weren't able to steer it anymore. And they have all rockets that launch have a failsafe that ground control can press a button basically and blow it up so that it doesn't go off into populated areas. So that's what some of these were intentional, some of them were accidental.
Yeah,
but these were all during tests.
I'm just wondering about this firmament you were talking about, this glass-like
Yeah.
substance. How thick exactly is that?
thick enough we can't break through it.
Thick
he's
enough we
reinforced it.
can't break through it.
Yeah. Nope. Even if you shoot a nuke at it, it won't break. That's assuming nukes exist. But let's assume nukes exist.
I was asking
You still wouldn't break it.
so how thick is that?
Woo! Pretty thick. Let's just say that because
Pretty thick.
you
No.
gotta think-
I
you
wasn't
gotta think
thinking
of
about
us-
pretty thick. I was thinking about in meters or inches.
it might actually be a
ballpark
few
figure.
miles thick. It might be a few miles thick.
A few miles.
Yes.
But how do we see the water through this few miles of glass?
Well, there's so much of it. It's not hard.
So much of what?
There's so much of it. Look at the sky.
No. So much of what? So
Water. Water.
Yeah.
There's
But it's
so
but
much
it's
of it.
but you're saying this glass is a couple miles thick. How do we see the water on the other side of this glass? Is it perfectly clear glass?
And this is making the sky blue, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because water is blue. Everybody.
Yeah, water is clear, and then it turns blue when you put glass.
So
white
what's
next to it.
illuminating the water?
What's illuminating the water?
Yeah.
The light, the sun, the light and the sun. Because we're
But
talking.
the sun's
both.
inside in your model here, not
Yeah, I know.
not
There's no
outside.
So
issue.
it's 40 miles away, illuminating you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were saying like 150 miles or so before you hit this glass dome of yours?
Yeah, 150 to 250 estimated.
250.
I'm giving a
So
rough
40
estimate.
miles and it's illuminating everything here.
Yeah. Well,
And then,
look, I have
and
no
then
issue with it.
illuminating the sky. Well, wouldn't it be illuminating the entire sky? Because it's only 40 meters, 40 miles down here, and it's got a lot more room to illuminate everything. So you'd always have sky. You'd always the sky would be lit everywhere all the time.
Oh no, the sky doesn't need to be lit. God can separate light and darkness. I can do it too. I can make a simple little dome. I'm pretty sure you've seen them. You can make a simple little dome, put a light over here.
Okay.
A
Guys-
moonlight over there.
guys, what I'm gonna do is
half of it will be lit. Half of it will be lit.
Now it's time
And
to.
that's using what we have. What can God do?
What can God do indeed?
Yeah, that's using what we have. Imagine what God can do. It's easy.
Yeah, nothing. It's that easy. I'm thinking about opening up the sluices so that we can have some questions and answers from everybody in the open house. So, hold on. Be ready, guys, because it will fill up quickly.
Oh God. Yeah, I can already see everything everyone's writing. Oh God.
So, it's in the Twitter open house guest list right now, folks, for the early birds.
Yeah.
It's also
and don't even
happening
get
in
me
the Discord
started. Don't even
chat.
get me started on the Giants.
Giant, sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
Giants.
I'm warning you. Don't go into giants.
No, let's go to giants. What's with the giants, mate?
Oh, your head will hurt.
Giants exist.
Giants
Well, yeah.
exist now.
Yeah.
Giants
Even
exist
still today,
today.
if you were probably still alive walking around.
So what would
Yeah.
what would be your definition of a giant? Are we talking about above basketball player here? And
It
by how
depends.
much?
All of them come in different sizes.
So
the last one that
what you got
was
small
always-
ones and big ones, yeah?
Yeah. The last one that was saw was 12 feet tall, from what I know.
Well, that's your
Dude,
own
he's-
fault, Habib.
He's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it in the NBA.
Oh no.
So where are
I wouldn't
these
want
people
to hear
exactly?
me.
Yeah.
I'd kill every single one of them. But
You'd kill every single one of them, would you?
yes, they're not human.
Okay. What? I'm not sure what that means.
Don't worry.
I got my money on Giants here, winning that
But
match
yeah.
in the octagon.
Yeah. But yeah, it depends on the time. Basically, before the flood, there were giants that were like 30 feet tall, 100 feet tall, stuff like that. So, and yes, they were walking around. And yes, I have the bodies to prove my case.
Do you have the bodies?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you send me these
You know,
images,
he's
mate? I
already-
wanted to see that you've got
His body's in his basement.
you've got images of this, have you?
Yeah, why?
Of
I have 3
course.
videos of it. And then people are like, "Oh, it's fake. It's not real." Well, guess what? I have someone
Oh.
that's literally finding body parts inside of them. A
The
heart,
word
intestines.
the word is pareidolia. Look it up, everybody, before you check out the videos.
No, it's not. How are you gonna prove it when
Hello,
literally
Melon
there's a
Habib.
heart
Welcome.
and blood and intestines inside of them? No, they were real. Now, do I think, of course, all of them? Of course, no. Some of them are statues, of course, but the vast majority are real.
I have a question.
What is it,
Okay, so I'm a science teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so you've got 2 hemispheres and the stars rotate in opposite directions.
Yeah.
How does that work how is that workable using a flat Earth?
Oh, it's simple. There's a group of stars rotating in one direction and then another group of stars rotating in another direction. It's that simple. I have it on video. Like, I can prove it.
Everything's on video.
Oh, okay. No, I appreciate because I feel I had
Robin,
that.
Robin, I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm
Hello,
just a little
Happy.
bit disappointed in you. I thought we kind of agreed that we don't pick on the disabled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
okay,
don't know
prove
if
the
he's
core of the earth
disabled or
exists.
not. I don't know if this is, some people are pushed out of the window, others fall, all on their own.
Okay.
What's your
okay.
name, guy with the glasses? What's the guy with the glasses?
Yes.
What's your name?
The guy with the glasses is called Habib.
Yes.
Okay,
He's a
Habib,
world-famous
Can you
YouTuber. Watch
prove
yourself.
the core of the earth exists? And I mean physically prove it. I don't mean say there's movement under it.
Yeah, I mean,
Say there's
I was
this-
there just yesterday. I just dug up like in my backyard,
Exactly,
went
you
there,
can't.
picked up a few stones. No, I did.
No, you didn't.
proved
You
that it's
can't.
not.
You can't.
just-
Stop
I
making
just-
up excuses.
I just told you I've been there.
I mean,
just yesterday.
I could take you scuba diving to show you thermal vents under the ocean if you wanted. Take a
Yeah,
bath.
I know there's
Here's
thermal.
the thing.
I don't
Here's
doubt
the
a ton
thing.
of that stuff.
The problem is that you keep on saying, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, I said I don't doubt
You are
that.
slobbering on the shoulders of giants. You know,
Well,
it's
no, like okay, like I think, like okay, you guys are being a bit mean, but I don't know, I do like this. Like okay, let's analyze this because the sign of a mature mind is being able to entertain an idea without accepting it. So just sticking with the stars thing, wouldn't that
Mhm.
mean that a section near the middle you would see 2 groups of stars?
Yeah, I have a picture of it. Yeah.
So you have a picture of
Yeah, I have a
it'd
picture,
have to be
yeah.
a video because like
Yeah. Yes.
when the stars kind of go in an arc towards each other
Yes.
and then
Yes.
away.
Yes. I posted it on my last video because they wanted to know, and I was just like,
One
"Here, I'll
last
show you."
question. What is the Milky Way galaxy then? Which is only observable in the southern hemisphere.
Oh, hon, there is no galaxy. I'm sorry. There is no galaxy.
There's pictures of it. You can see it because
No.
of the
What you have are pictures of stars and lights in the firmament. That's what you have.
No. But Aboriginals, it was a giant snake. Like there's like it's written in text that's what they thought it was. This is like there are images of like you can see it in the sky. It's this giant snake-like thing that's light that is like the Milky Way galaxy. It's only observed.
Han, there are stars and lights in the firmament. That's what everyone sees. That is what everyone sees. There are no planets up there.
So the aurora borealis.
Did you just hun her?
Yeah. Oh, the aurora borealis. You want to know where that comes from?
Was that mansplaining?
Yeah, this is my last question.
That was a mansplain. That was.
You sure you want to know where the aurora borealis comes from?
Yes, I would like to know what the northern lights or the aurora borealis is.
Okay, now I'm gonna make you find this out on your own. It's real simple. Okay, I want you to read Revelation chapter 4. Now, on my model of the Earth, God is above the dome. Okay, He's above the dome. So now I want you to read Revelation chapter 4. You can read it. Start from the beginning and read what they said about the rainbow round about the throne.
He's everywhere. He's above the dome. He's underground. He's at the core.
Yeah.
Wait. If you're talking about rainbow, then that's Genesis, isn't it?
No. Revelation 4. You need to read it. Where do you think that glow's coming from?
Rainbow happened after the flood, which is like that's Genesis.
No. You're talking about aurora borealis.
Yeah.
Not a rainbow.
I thought you mentioned a rainbow.
No, we're talking about aurora borealis. We're calling an emerald rainbow about the throne. Where do you think that's coming from? God, remember what I said? God is above the dome.
I'm familiar with the story in Genesis, the Noah that landed on Mount Sinai, and then he was the first man to plant a vineyard, and then he got drunk and naked and passed out in his son's tent, and then one of his sons found him and then said to the other brothers that they needed to cover him up because I guess it's cold in the Middle East, and so they walked him backwards and dropped the thing on him to keep him warm, and then in the morning when Noah sobered up, he put a curse on the son that helped him.
Yeah, because he's what they're talking about right there is one of the sons slept with Noah's wife because he was trying to get her pregnant, and a whole bunch of other. This is a long story about that. And so he in the Bible. He basically cursed his son, like, don't sleep with my wife.
I don't know. I think religion, can be important and faiths and stuff like that. And I'm just here for like flat Earth questioning. So, anyone else have a question?
Give me a flat Earth question. Anything. You want to ask me a ball question? What do you have?
So I could expand on Melody's question here.
Okay.
Please do.
So when we are in observers in South Africa, look due south, they see the southern celestial pole, which is the point around which all the stars rotate.
Yeah.
The people in Puerto Williams, Chile, see when they look due south, the south celestial pole due south, and people in Australia look due south and see the south celestial pole. All these locations see the same point, the same physical point in space simultaneously. Yet, how does that happen if they are all facing in opposite directions according to the flat Earth map? You could bring up that map that he provided us. We could look on his map, and we could see that these three locations are looking in vastly different directions.
Yeah,
yet they see the same actual thing.
Yeah. Because
because I'm guessing that compasses on the flat Earth model will point towards the center of the disk.
It depends on who you believe on that. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm really not. But let me answer your question. Let me answer your question.
If they were all looking south, that would be in different directions.
Yeah. So. But it's real simple. Think about it like this. Okay. See, what a lot of flat earthers are saying is that all the stars circle in one direction and Polaris is in the center, right? That's what most flat earthers are saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm a different type of flat earther. So I'm basically saying in one section, there's a group of stars rotating in one area. In another section, there's a group of stars rotating in another. And I have a belief, honestly, that there's more than just those two. There might be 3 or 4. There might be more than that. But based off my evidence, I only see 2 so far.
Okay.
If there's more, someone please send it in, because there might be more than just that. Those 2 celestial poles rotating in opposite directions. But it's really that simple. It's not that hard to figure out. I can grab 2 lights. I can grab, one of those kind of like disco lights. One can rotate the other way, and then make the other one rotate another way. And guess what? In my room, that's what's going to happen. All the little lights, on the wall, one's going to rotate in one direction, the other one's going to rotate in another. And I can do that in my simple room. And now you're talking about God doing this? This is easy.
One last question. What is gravity?
I'm sorry, hon, I don't believe in gravity. I haven't proven the core.
Okay, but what is the alternative to gravity?
Okay, I'll give you my alternative.
Okay.
My exact alternative, okay? What I believe is happening is what I call electromagnetism based off, it's called a levitating clock, okay? It's called a levitating clock. Basically what happens, huh?
Okay, sorry, I'll let you finish, but...
Yeah, no, it's fine, thank you. It's called a levitating clock. Basically what happens is you can just turn it on and it'll cause a metal ball to literally levitate and float in the air. Now, we know for a fact the Earth is magnetized for some reason. I don't understand why. God made it, not me. My job is not to understand why, okay? Mm-hmm. But he made it magnetized. So it's not a bad theory to say, oh, okay, maybe there's something metallic or something about the sun and moon that the Earth is using as kind of like a platform to levitate the sun and moon up, because the Earth is magnetic. So I'm just like, okay, if the Earth is magnetic in some way, shape, or form, it could probably lift the sun and moon up, because for us, it's huge. But for God, this is like a tiny little plate.
But like the inverse square law prohibits natural magnetic levitation. Believe me, I tried to disprove that by making basically a ring magnet with another ring magnet with opposite poles, and that second ring magnet that was floating, the float ring, with a tail that would descend through the repeller magnets and towards an attractive one. And I was thinking, oh, maybe it'll just balance like a spinning top. But no, the inverse square law says that the closer you are to a magnet, the stronger the pull, and the further away you are, weaker it gets. So the laws of reality prohibit that for a magnetic platform from actually working unless you have feedback electronics measuring the distance and adjusting.
I will let you know, hon. You sound smart.
She teaches, mate.
You sound like you're smarter than these two. I'll give you that.
Yeah, she's a teacher. It's what she does for a living.
And a lot nicer. Here's where the issue comes in. Is I don't know about I know about the levitating clock. I know about what's going on. But I'm not sure. I'm not the creator of it, so I'm not sure exactly how it works. I would literally have to buy it, open it up, and figure out what the heck is going on in here. And I really do. I really plan on buying it.
It's not that hard, actually. It's just north magnets or south magnets.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing.
The thing is, though, gravity is relatively weaker than magnetism. Magnetism is a much stronger force than gravity, and you can show that by levitating a paper clip attached to a string. A magnet will win, and the magnet is much, much smaller than the Earth, and or I guess the flat Earth, and gravity is more to do with displacement of space-time, taking up space.
I was going to say, gravity is not even a force.
Well, it's a very weak kind of attractive force. You can put it in that way, but it's
it's not literally a force, but it acts like one, and it's one of those.
It's more of an acceleration, but you've got contact force stopping that from.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Everyone has their own theory. Some people say the gravity is really strong. Some people say it's weak.
But nobody has a theory that says it doesn't exist.
No, I mean, in terms of size comparison, magnetism is stronger than gravity.
Oh yeah, I believe
Certainly
that.
on a
100%.
localized level.
Yeah, if you had, well, put it this way, if you hadn't like if you had a magnet that was the size of the Earth in terms of like attractive force, like yeah, that would and I'm not talking about like the molten metal core that generates the electromagnetism
He
of
doesn't
the Earth.
believe in that. He doesn't believe
like
in
an
that.
Yeah, I don't believe in the
He
core.
doesn't
permanent
believe in
magnet
that.
the size of the Earth.
That doesn't
Yeah,
exist. Ergo, gravity doesn't exist either.
Yeah, I don't believe in the core, hun. I believe there's lava, water,
Yeah.
and dirt underneath the Earth. That's what I believe. I believe
What's
there's water,
underneath
dirt, and
that?
lava underneath the Earth.
What creates
But
the
when it comes to a core,
then if
Is
there's
it?
no
Is
core?
what's underneath that though?
how the hell am I supposed to know? I don't know. I'd rather say I don't know.
Well, if you're,
Wait, so you
what you're
think
doing
that
is you're
all
proffering
would
a
be-
bespoke sort of theory here. But there's
Robin,
let's say there's a
I'm
lot
curious
of
here.
plot holes that are in this particular thing. Let's say that.
Wait, but Robin, I'm curious here. If heaven is above the firmament, wouldn't hell be below?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so okay. Well, that's my question answered.
Oh, I warned you.
Oh, does the hole in the middle of the disc? Are you that kind of flat earther, or?
What do you mean hole in the middle of the disc? What are you talking about?
Okay, so some flat earthers believe
There's a
a
hole?
in the disc, and if
In
you
the
go
middle,
through
like
the
a what?
hole-
Like a record.
Yeah, like a big old record. And if you go through the hole, it creates
No.
Like,
Oh, you guys don't want to get into this. You guys don't want to get into this. Trust me. Trust me, it's gonna get crazy.
I have a video addressing the flat earthers that think there's a magic portal at the North Pole. If you want to go have a look at that for some fun.
In the middle of the world.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No. I have a different view, and trust me, it's a little more. I have evidence for it, but it's a little more.
You have a different
it's
view. Yeah?
unbelievable to the person who will not believe in religion. It's unbelievable to the person who won't believe in religion.
That's right. That's the thing about religion.
Oh, okay. We've got this question that's coming up more and more time. Okay, so if gravity doesn't exist, what makes things go down?
Nothing. We're on a flat plane. We don't need anything to make us go down.
No, but what pulls things down and what pulls it heavier?
That's the thing. We don't need anything.
What
And
pulls?
people don't like that. People don't like that answer. They want something. They want something.
Stuff goes down. There has to
Yeah,
be
I
a
know.
cause. There's a cause. What is it?
It's yeah. You're standing 10 meters high, and then you drop, and then suddenly you're on the ground.
Yeah,
And
but
it's like that.
not gravity holding you down.
Something's doing that. What? And you've just dismissed it.
Yeah.
So now that it's not there, we're just floating in the air in your model.
Why do we?
No, we're not just floating in the air because you
No.
guys keep thinking if there's nothing there, we have to float. And I'm just like, why do we have to float if there's nothing there? What does it like? It's so stupid.
Yeah, but you're just saying no.
You're making
you.
assumptions. You're making assumptions. You're just making assumptions.
No, I mean, no, guys, I get where he's coming from.
Oh my god.
Because he's saying that there is no other mode of existence, but that still begs the question, why?
Like, why are we pulled down instead of up or to the side? Or
Yeah.
what is making it go down?
When you
I
shoot a
don't know.
cannonball, mate, it goes from
What
A to B.
defines-
Hey, look, to me, it's nothing. I don't know. Because for me, it's real simple. We're on a flat plane that God created. And if you fall off a building, you fall down. It's not pulling us. It's just, you fall.
Oh my god.
Oh, some flat earthers.
This is beautiful.
Some
This
just
is
renamed it.
fucking
They just
beautiful.
call it. They say droppity. Droppity is what does it.
But look, it's not like you guys can prove what you believe. You guys can't prove space. You can't prove a core exists.
Well, I mean, hang on. There is like television static is background radiation. You can pick that up on any kind of sensitive data. I could show you redshift and blue shift to show the direction that the Earth is heading in, and so like how the universe like.
Hold on, you think it's moving?
Well, yeah, the world is.
No, it's not. There's no evidence for the Earth moving.
Well, the constellations have changed.
Yeah, that's them moving. That's them moving, not the Earth. The Earth is completely still.
Okay. No, that's a good answer.
The Earth
okay.
is still. And so all those planets, are just sort of like just all over the place.
Well, we have the stars.
It's like they're just
and the lights of the
stopping and
firmament.
starting and flying around like flies on the sky.
Yeah, God directs them.
What are the planets?
Uriel.
Like, what are the planets and the stars?
Okay, there are no planets.
There are no planets. It's a
No.
bold strategy,
Yeah,
Cotton.
The Earth is the only freaking living piece of land we have. Okay.
Wait, so what's
Like,
the morning star?
No one has
planet?
ever looked through a telescope and found a planet like that. That doesn't exist.
No, they've
Last
looked
time I
through
was in
a
a
telescope
planetarium.
and
Last
looked through a
time I was in a
telescope.
planetarium and looked at the stars and different planets. I've seen, like, maybe they just put images in front of the telescope. I don't know. I'm starting to question my own existence now. Like my yesterday's visit to the core of the Earth, maybe it was a lie. My entire existence was a lie, and now I believe in concave Earth, where it's
That's
we
the
live on the
concave
moon, we
Earth
look at
there.
the
It's
Earth.
got it's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like
you're
yeah.
true. Yeah, yeah, you're true.
Is
No, I'm not drunk. I'm making more sense than you, sir.
Yeah, you're a troll. Since you got on here, you've been a troll. Yeah, so just shut up. You sound stupid.
Oh, I sound stupid. Oh God.
Sorry. You believe in things you can't prove.
Yeah, and you can prove all the things that you believe in.
I can prove most, not all. But I can at least prove
You haven't
some.
proven
You can't.
anything yet. You're just like, I want things go down because they go down because I don't believe
I
in this.
told you, I'm
extravagant
gonna make a video proving like 90% of what I said.
No, don't make a video.
90%, not 50.
They don't prove things.
90.
They don't prove things with video in the real world. Like maybe in the
Yeah.
YouTube world, you prove things with videos. Write a
Yeah.
paper, have it peer reviewed and proven.
Mhm,
Have it be
yeah.
like make an experiment and have it be replicated over and over again by different scientists. Now, if you
Mhm.
do that and prove 1% of what you claim, then maybe I'll believe you. Until then, you're like, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna have a disco ball that rotates one
Yeah,
way.
I mean,
proves that the
you
stars are in a
recent-
firmament now.
Did you
No.
recently see the recent SpaceX launch?
I don't waste my time on them. They're all liars to me.
So you didn't see it?
Nah, why would I waste my time on it?
Okay. To change the topic a little bit, Big Bang.
Yeah, what about it?
Do you think that happened?
Come on, mate. He can't even. He hasn't even entered the galaxy yet. He can't even manage a local plane.
Well, I mean, technically not an explosion per se. I mean, it was a great expansion, but like there would have been no sound in space as well, so it would have just essentially been light. So, like, is that not compact with like the?
When was the last time you saw an explosion create something? Yeah.
Okay. No, actually, he does. You do have me here because the laws of thermodynamics state that energy can't be created from nothing. All objects in motion must remain in motion until the force is acted upon them, and all objects that are at rest will remain at rest until an object is acted upon that. And the events preceding the Big Bang, even though there are no physics and no time or space to lay the laws of physics down, so technically anything could happen. Technically,
Breathe now. Breathe.
Why is it so hard to just say, hey, look, God created this place for us?
Well, see, I don't know
Why is that so hard?
or whether it's oscillating universe theory or whatever.
That
that
certainly is the simplest explanation.
Robin.
The thing is, the simplest explanation is usually the right one, isn't it?
Well, Robin, like, I just want to say though, as a scientist, there's not a lot of things that give me the heebie-jeebies, but the origins of the universe is actually one of them. I will, because technically it's breaking all three laws of thermodynamics, because there's no thermodynamics yet, which is like what?
Well, if there aren't laws for thermodynamics, I suppose it can.
Look, I'm sorry. For me, it's just simple. God created this place. I can't find a single thing that's not created. Not a single thing. I'm in my room right now. Everything is created.
Was God created? No, hold on. What was God created?
Don't even get me started on proving the words of the Bible. Oh, God.
Yeah, was God created then? existence. Everything was
No,
created.
no, God is self-existent.
Well, okay, then which god? Are you talking about Odin? Because yeah, I think Odin created everything.
No, Odin's an angel.
No, Odin created your god.
No, Odin's a
No,
fallen
Odin
angel.
created your mom. No. He's
Yeah,
not.
see, I told you,
You're
he's a
wrong.
troll. He's stupid. He doesn't. He hasn't.
He has the thing is he has
talking out of his
as
ass.
much evidence
Like,
as
dude,
you.
just shut
So
up. You sound
you have
stupid.
to.
You're a retard. You haven't studied religion. You don't know what.
I don't like-
Oh, I haven't studied religion now. Oh God.
you're
No,
I don't.
don't start with me, sir. Don't start with me. No, I'm not gonna shut up.
If you have
No,
a question
dude,
about
usually,
real
usually,
question about the Bible, ask me.
shush. No, shush. Now you shush. Okay.
Let me-
Usually, I'm the kind of guy that sits in the corner and just listens. But now, since you tell me that I haven't studied religion, sir, you don't even know what you started. I studied most religions on this planet. Yeah, I started even as an Islam apologist, for crying out loud. And yeah, I don't believe in any religion at all because it's fucking nonsense. Now, if you're gonna tell me that God created everything and Odin is an angel, even though there's no mention of Odin as an angel in any of your holy books, you just made that up. So I can make whatever I want up. You know who I worship? I worship fucking Batman. Batman is my god, and he created your fucking mom. Okay? And hold on, and I do have proof of that. By the way, shush, still, shush. I'm not done yet. And if you want proof of that, yes, I have proof of that. I've written multiple books. I made multiple videos saying that Batman is God and he created this fucking guy's mom. And you know what? If you don't believe in those videos, then you're just an ignorant. You don't even know about the religion of Batman. If you don't know about the religion of Batman, if you haven't studied the religion of Batman, sir, then you have no place to argue against it. Go study that religion and then come back to me.
Okay, now do me a favor. Do me a favor. You say you studied various religions, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's 3 reasons for God flooding the earth. What are the 3 reasons? It's in the Bible. And in other religious texts. What are the 3 reasons God flooded the earth? Tell me. I want to hear it.
The flood didn't even happen, so I don't know.
Why? Answer the question. I don't care if you think the flood happened or not. Answer the question.
Well, isn't that
3 reasons?
Isn't that a leading question though?
He said he studied it. It's in the book. It's written there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know
so
what I'm saying? You don't know because you're stupid and you read the book wrong.
No. Wait. No. But like,
read the book
no, it's
wrong.
the way that you phrased it. So you should have asked to be, why do Christians believe that God flooded the world, or why do Jewish people believe, or why do Muslim people believe that God flooded the world? Because
how many of you would like to know why God flooded the earth?
or why these religions believe?
What do you think? No, would you guys like to know?
Because everyone was evil apart from the ducks and the fish.
Oh God! Wow, this is what I mean by atheists are stupid. Okay,
I'm on the fence.
Okay, you're being nice. Honestly, you're being nice. It's him that I'm disliking. I'm gonna explain why God flooded the earth. I'm gonna explain why God flooded the earth, since he wants to talk out of his ass, acting like he studied religion. So I'm gonna give you a description. Okay? Genesis 6. And it came to pass when the angels came down from the dome and started having sex with the women. And the women died, giving birth to giants. Now, okay, so we have giants on the earth. That's number 1. Giants on the earth attacking the human race, killing them, eating them. Okay? That's 1. And the angels... No, shut up and listen.
Melody, let him finish.
Shut up and listen.
The giants that don't exist, and it's all about God made an oopsie that he doesn't even know how to control, and he flooded everything. Because, the God, the all-powerful, can't even correct the mistakes that his own creations, and instead he just hit the reset button. That makes
you don't know about
Sir, okay, I'm going to save you one thing.
Let me talk.
Okay.
Let me finish.
No. Hold on. Before you finish, I'm going to ask you, what is your name, sir?
Call me W.
W. Okay, W. I'm going to just save you some time because most of us here, all of us here are atheists and don't give a fuck about your myths. And we don't give a fuck about. Then save yourself the embarrassment. Because I'm just saving you the embarrassment because this is fucking stupid. Because at first you're trying to prove or trying to justify an evil act by a God that doesn't exist. by resetting the entire creation on the planet by saying,
you-
but
you
the
wasting
angels
time.
came down, had sex with humans, and made giants.
Yes. And guess what? I got the bodies to prove it. So shut up.
Well, I have
Where?
Body.
Show me.
Shut up.
Show me.
I think what you're
Go to
talking
my
about.
channel.
I think
It's
what you're
called
talking.
Why You Are an Idiot. Go to my channel.
I think
Exactly.
I think what you're talking about is Neanderthals.
I think everyone's got a
No,
little
it's
bit,
like-
a little bit sort of
I don't
angry
like
here.
the guy, man. I don't like the guy. If he was here in real life, I'd knock the shit out of him.
No, but I
Well,
mean, if you've got pictures of very large hominoid like remains, they're most likely just Neanderthals. They were taller.
Oh,
And
hun, their heads are bigger than our freaking bodies. Like, I mean, when I mean huge, I mean they're huge. You seen Attack on Titan's anime? Yeah, that big.
well, yeah,
They're that big.
no, not that big. But
Yes, they are.
Robin, I'm sorry, I just can't.
Their bodies are
there's frost giants and giants
You're
in Norse
welcome.
mythology.
Yeah,
There's
giants in Norse, Greek. What do you think they're talking about?
And they're talking about Neanderthals because
No, they're
Homo
talking
erectus
about,
wiped them all out, and so like we
they're
need to
talking about the
justify
children
that.
of the angels.
We were like, oh well, they were evil giants then. That's what happened. We didn't just either sleep
No.
with them or kill them. And
They were
take
real.
them and
Their bodies are scattered out throughout the earth.
well, no, because they migrated to Europe before us, and then we came after and we killed them all.
No,
This happened
no.
all over the earth.
I actually have all the
All over the
giants
earth.
in my
America,
basement.
India, UK. This happened all over the earth, especially in India.
No, we still have the giants. The giants are still alive. They're in my basement. We rave every evening and every now and then. And that's what we cause earthquakes, is by rave
Yeah.
parties with giants.
I really hate this guy. Like, he's just
Also with it,
he's a troll. He studied
Of course you
religion
do.
all those years,
Of
and he couldn't
course you
even
do.
figure out
Of
one
course you do, because
paragraph.
I ridicule your every single ridiculous belief, and that's
He
why you
couldn't
hate
even
me.
read one
Because,
paragraph right.
sir, when
He
it
couldn't
comes to
even
your
read one
beliefs, when it
paragraph
comes to
right,
your
you know
beliefs,
what?
we don't really. I mean, I don't really think that I should debate you on those ridiculous ideas. The best thing I can do is just sit here and ridicule you. And I'm fucking enjoying
Dude,
this.
you're stupid, and you look like some short idiot. Like, holy hell, you're dumb.
but okay. Just final point with the Neanderthals. There is kind of evidence, and that like white
Fine.
people are a thing.
In this hangout.
Fine. You
Well,
can't
no,
explain.
because like white people also moved like predominantly to Europe, so they bred quite a bit with Neanderthals, and that's why we have weird genetic mutations like ginger hair and eyes that aren't like proper. And like, I mean, essentially what I'm saying is like you and I, Robin, we're mongrels, we're interbred mongrels, and so much for the master race.
Well, I mean, the thing is that we're all mutts at the end of the day.
I don't want to hear this. Shut up. Holy heck. No, look, it's just simple. You can't explain a 30-foot giant saying Neanderthals. You
Well,
can't
they
explain
weren't 30 feet though. I doubt that you've got pictures of like people that.
You think I don't have pictures? Yeah. Yeah. No. Good luck.
Well, I mean,
It's on my channel. It's on my channel.
yeah, I'll have a look at them, but I don't know. It might be a hoax. I mean, have you heard of Piltdown Man?
What are
I
you
take
gonna
it-
do?
I
when
take
there's
it
a heart
dinosaurs,
inside of them?
So you probably think that dinosaurs and Jesus
What?
Jesus rides dinosaurs, that sort of thing, yeah?
No. Actually, no. That's
No, Robin, no. Jesus was actually a dinosaur.
Oh god.
Wait. So with the
And he was.
dinosaur?
No, he was a T-Rex, and they stretched his arms on the cross.
Oh,
That's
Habib, shut up. Hang on. The dinosaur fossils, are they? Are the dinosaur fossils? They're not real.
What? The dinosaurs are not real. Who said that? Who said that?
Dinosaur fossils, are they real or not?
How do I say this? This is my view. I think they're real, and I have my view on them.
Okay, because I was going to question if you thought they weren't real, why would the giants be real? But
No,
okay,
to me they're real.
that's just my-
There's just an explanation for some of them that I have an explanation for.
Okay. I'm just gonna go make a cup of coffee, so I'll be right back. Wait, guys, keep
I'm
it
actually making
civil.
coffee
Oh my
too.
goodness.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it civil. I'm just having my laugh.
I don't like you, dude. I really don't like you.
I know you don't like me. That's fine. That's fine,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I don't
That's
like
fine.
you. You're a freaking idiot. You lied about being a religious apologist.
I'm out
You-
for fighting.
Oh no, I used to be.
You don't
I
even
used
know
to
the
be.
beginning of the book, the first 6 pages. So how are you going to talk?
Because an Islam apologist doesn't have to learn about the Book of Genesis, sir.
Oh my God, I can get stuff from your Quran to prove my Bible. Freak, man. That's how stupid you are.
Oh, you can get stuff from my Quran to prove your Bible. Oh yeah.
Totally,
My
hell
Quran.
yeah.
I don't have a Quran, sir. Do you understand the words that I'm saying to you? I used to be an Islam apologist, and now I'm an atheist. So the Quran is not mine. I don't claim it. Like that book is filled with bullshit. And if you're relying on bullshit to prove your bullshit, then yeah, you're deeper in bullshit now.
Yeah. Keep making all the excuses you want.
You're throwing,
yeah.
you're
And-
throwing mud
Look,
at
like
mud.
I said, I proved my words. I proved my words before. Red Rhetoric lied to them, saying we didn't set up a debate, and I made a video saying we did, because I'm an honest guy, and I have the comments and everything to show it. Because guess
Honestly.
what? I do my best not to lie, especially when it comes about God. The giants did exist. There was a reason for the flood outside of just the human race just being bad. But you guys are freaking retards. And you don't want to look into it. Because guess what? You want to be stupid on purpose. And that is a reality.
It's just simple,
Okay,
dude.
so-
It's a citation fucking needed. Like I said, you don't really know you don't know my religion, dude. My religion is the Book of Batman, and unless you know the Book of Batman, you have no ground to debate me.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're just an ignorant retard.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Good
know
luck
anything
dealing
about
with the
anything.
bodies of the giants. No, good luck dealing with the bodies of the giants. Good luck.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm
the bodies of the giants.
here. Both of you stop using
Like
the
I,
R word.
like I said,
Oh my
the bodies
God.
of the giants are all in my basement, and raving and dancing, and we're causing all kind of earthquakes in Japan.
Yeah.
The
I don't care how you
ableism.
My God proved his word, and he's gonna keep proving it.
All right, okay. And Batman is going to prove his word.
What happened, hon?
I said stop calling each other like retarded. Like I don't know. Like I really.
I don't like the word either. I don't like the word either. But after it was
Right, I know. But
7
like,
times, I'm
okay.
like, dude.
The way I
Right.
see it, like if you are like mentally disabled and stuff, and you want to use it as a sort, like you know, that's fine. But if you're not, then it's like it's the same.
What? The only person who's allowed to say retarded has to be retarded.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, fine. I mean, he's using it all the time, so that kind of works.
Oh my God! I'm okay. Maybe it's okay for you to say that.
I just had to. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm back to making my coffee. Yeah.
No, it's God.
Oh, Robin. What have you
Wow.
done this week?
He's just a
Holy
loser
fuck.
that failed. That's all it is. He failed. That's it.
Oh, I failed? I failed
Yeah,
at what?
dude. You
I failed at
failed. You failed at reading your Quran wrong. Look, I'm a Bible believer.
I failed at reading my
I read
Quran
your
wrong.
Quran more
I
correctly.
failed at reading my Quran wrong, so that means I read it correctly.
No, you couldn't even read it
You
correctly.
just said I failed at reading my Quran wrong.
Pay attention. I'm a Bible believer saying, hey, there's some truth in the Quran. That's
And I'm
basically
saying
what I'm
that-
saying. There is some truth in that book, whether I like
Some
it or
truth,
not.
yeah.
So I have to
there's-
accept it.
Yeah, there's
Does
some
that
truth in
mean
Mein
I'm
Kampf
gonna
too. That doesn't mean
praise
that I have to
Allah?
accept it. There's some truth in Mein Kampf too. Doesn't mean that I have to accept it.
No, there's no truth in what you're saying. Because you're not saying anything. You're just being stupid.
Oh, so you don't even understand a word that I'm saying, but you're just saying, "Oh, I don't understand it," so that means you're stupid.
No, you're just stupid.
I don't know if you
You
understand the
haven't
words
come
that are
in here
coming out
and
of your
said
mouth.
anything of value. What have you said? What have you proved? You haven't even asked a serious question.
What have you proved? What have
You
you
talked about
proved?
Batman.
You just came here. You just came here with assessments, with assertions, and the first thing you asked me was like, "Can you prove that the core of the Earth is solid?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Well,
prove
yeah.
it.
I mean, I was there. I was there yesterday."
Exactly. You can't.
Okay,
You can't.
just let me ask something for a moment. The sun stops.
Yeah. I have video of it.
According to you, the sun stops.
Yeah, and then it starts back up again. And I have video proof of it.
You have video proof of this.
Yes.
Yeah, is it by any chance you pointing your camera to the sky? By any chance?
No, it's literally sending a balloon, balloon with the camera on it up there, etc. I told you, I'm going to prove my words.
Oh, also, Attack on Titans is great. It's also a work of fiction, mate.
Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with the bodies first. They're on my page. You can go look at them if you want. My page is called Why You Are an Idiot. And guess what? That's why you're an idiot. Because you couldn't see it, but I did. So good luck. Oh yeah, and there's a heart, intestines, and blood vessels inside of them. And yeah, I have proven that. And guess what? Someone else actually has it for me. And I love it. I love every second of it. I get to be this cocky because I'm right.
You know, it's rather interesting because I find people who are wrong tend to get a lot more defensive.
Mm-hmm. No, I just don't like the guy. He tilted me. Everything else was fine. She was fine. Even when they were talking, I was like, whatever. But this guy, oh
dude,
God.
You're just fucking amazing. I love this episode.
Yeah. Also, can you refer to Mel as anything other than Hun? She has a name.
I just call girls Hun. Hey, Hun, you get that for me? Just
well, that's interesting.
Why, thank you for enjoying my good looks.
You call all girls Hun. That kind of says something about you.
Yes, I do.
Well, I mean, okay, in Scotland, everybody calls each other Hun, whether they're girls or guys.
Yes, but that's each other, Mel. He's
Yeah,
calling
that is
girls
a bit
specifically.
different. So that's I don't really mind.
Is there a correlation between this attitude and flat earthers?
What?
What?
Well, just the way he seems to talk to women, that's all.
Oh, right.
The bigotry! You're going to go with that line, are you?
I don't know. I think
Very hard not to, Robin.
I was going to ask something, but I've completely forgotten what it was.
Oh dear.
Hang on, let me
Oh God. No, I'm laughing myself to tears. I'm sorry. My stomach fucking
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I keep just muting my microphone because I'm just I can't stop fucking laughing.
Hey, at least you didn't join in and realize you've been here for the wrong speakers.
God, this is amazing. I needed this. Robin, I have to say thank you. I fucking needed this.
You're welcome.
Now go away in your stupid little world, dude. Like, holy hell, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'm the stupid one because you proved that
Because
giants
we don't
exist.
believe that there's a dome on the Earth.
No. There's giants. There's domes. Earth is flat. Even though, like, if I just walk down to Burj Khalifa, I can see in the sunset, like, the sun is still shining on the upper floors, and it's not shining on the lower floors because the sun is below the curvature. But no, I need to believe this guy. I need to believe this guy because he says that there's a firmament and like.
Actually, I have to ask if there's a glass dome over us and the sun is shining on us. Why is there a snow some parts of the time?
What?
Well, why does it snow? If we got a glass dome and the sun is shining, it's going to be bloody hot all the time.
No.
You don't understand. You don't understand it, sir. Like, there's a couple of disco balls that do the stars. No.
Jesus.
Come on, man. It's basic science. You gotta understand. Disco balls.
Hey,
No.
hey, I have GCSE level science, mate. I understand basic science.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself again.
What the fuck did I join?
The best conversation of the week.
Okay, am I the only person who's expecting the topic to be on UKIP?
I was expecting UKIP. I was
We're just on
expecting a
Flat
lot
Earth
of
right now.
things. I was expecting UKIP. I was expecting like a lot of things here, but I didn't walk in and just like, well, firmament, because reasons.
And instead, we're talking about the extinction of the dinosaurs, because a meteorite hits one side of the flat Earth and causes the world to do a quick libration flip and turn the other way up. And all the dinosaurs got propelled off into space because they were big creatures, they had a lot of momentum.
I mean, it's not just that. Like, I was gonna expose all the Photoshop work that I did during the past 2 weeks to release that image of a black hole. And yeah, I'm a photographer. I had to do it. And yeah, NASA had to pay me. NASA paid me like $6 and a hot dog. and I'm grateful.
And,
And I celebrated with my giants in the basement.
Have you heard the biggest conspiracy out of all of it? The moon landing was filmed in Denmark.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously
who honestly thinks Denmark exists? What kind of a conspiracy theory is that?
So, well, obviously, this is here's the problem that sort of psychologically you suffer from here, because obviously you're thinking of this firmament. All things to do with space have to be turned off for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start emailing Frontier Development. I don't know if he's still here, but I'm gonna start emailing Frontier. I'm like, I can't play Elite Dangerous anymore because I can see the Earth and it's not flat. It's bothering me. And by the way, yeah, last week I went to like on the first day of Comic-Con. We ended up like going to this planetarium after the first day, and yeah, I took a little peek. I went so like little planets like we've seen Jupiter and Mars. They were in view and pretty cool. Yeah, the first time I get to see them like at my computer screen, just like looking at a telescope and seeing them. That was kind of cool. And on the same week, I come here and it's like, hey, no planets. And I'm like, oh wait, I just saw this last week. What happened? Did they cancel the planets?
Yeah, somebody just turned it off.
Well, yeah, the reviews were
Dara
terrible.
O'Kane is autistic, and he says this is retarded. He's allowed.
Yeah, I'm autistic too. This is retarded.
Yeah, okay, that's fair by my own, yeah. But okay, so on a completely other note, like, okay, just because I'm agnostic, I don't really believe in religion per se. It was something you said about so, like, there being a truth in so like stories and stuff, even if it's a grain of truth. I think that's true. And like, I am going to take a break here to interlude my favorite story.
Any
from
fellow
mythology.
flat earthers wish to defend the other corner so there isn't a dog pile?
Actually, yeah, that would be good.
Oh, must you do that, Robin?
Yes. but okay.
Yeah, bring more of them here. No, I do
That
recommend
would be against their free
geranium
speech.
if you can get geranium or I don't know what he's called really. Geranium.
Oh,
he's the kind of guy that he pointed cameras at airplanes. And he's like he claimed that they were demons. So I recommend that guy.
By the way, W, I did read up on the Revelations chapter that you were talking about. It also mentions the Sea of Glass, and I don't know. I'm thinking you could have a traveler from the north that just described the Aurora Borealis and like something was lost in translation.
Or it could be that he was taken above the dome and God is above the dome and he's the one causing it.
But so my favorite story from mythology is how the war, like the siege of Troy was started and stuff, or the mythological explanation. So all the gods and the goddesses were having a wedding, but Hecate wasn't invited because Hecate is the goddess of chaos, and you don't want that at a wedding. You've already got enough chaos going on. So she wasn't invited, and she was kind of pissed. So what she did was she made a golden apple and inscribed on it "for the most beautiful," and threw it into the wedding celebration. Now, of course, all the goddesses, being humble as they were, they started fighting over it. Three mainly, which was Hera, goddess of fertility and motherhood, Athena, goddess of wisdom, being the wisest, obviously, she's saying that she was the most beautiful, that would make most logical sense. But then there's also Aphrodite, who's the goddess of love, so like clearly that she would be the most beautiful. Anyway, they couldn't decide, so they're like, let's get Moral involved in this, because like Moral can be, like fair and unbiased, and we'll also give him bribes. So anyway, they they find this guy named Paris, and they basically. They say, here's the deal, Paris. We're going to offer you bribes. And the one that you pick, you have to decide which one of us is the most beautiful. And so that we can get the golden apple. And so basically, Hera goes up and says, well, I'm the goddess of fertility. So if you pick me, I'll make sure that you'll have loads and loads and loads of children. You'll have amazing progeny and you'll live on forever. Through that, a sort of immortality through your legacy and stuff. And he thinks, yeah, that's pretty good. I want to hear what the other goddesses have to offer. So Athena comes over and says, fertility's okay, but I'm the goddess of wisdom. I could make you wise beyond your years. People will quote you for centuries to come, and it's not just through your progeny, but you specifically will have achieved a kind of immortality among the ages. And Paris is like, wow, that does actually kind of sound better, but more personal. But I'll see what, the third goddess has to offer. So Aphrodite comes sauntering along, being the goddess of love and all, and she's like, hey, Paris, immortality through wisdom, that's pretty good, immortality through progeny, that's pretty good too. But you know that Helen of Troy, she's pretty fit, yeah? I can make that happen. Which one do you think he picked?
The last one.
Yes. But
Did he
Helen
flip a coin? Did he flip a coin? He must have flipped a coin.
But Helen was betrothed to someone else at the time, and it was seen as a kidnapping, even though they said that the gods intervened, and that's apparently what started the 100 Years' War with Troy. But I think the takeaway message here, the truth that you take from this story, is that if you give a man a choice between immortality and getting laid.
Come on. You can't really you can't put a price on good pussy.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Oh my goodness.
Immortality or you get laid. Like, yeah, it's like you get all the wealth in the world, or that ass.
Immortality, infinite knowledge, wet dick. I don't know about you, but I'm going to dissolve my penis.
Wow.
Hey, guys, can I say something quick here? I need to step out. But thank you very much, Robin, for hosting, and thank you, W, for joining in. It was, I think, an entertaining conversation. And everybody else, if you like some more silliness, you can find my channel. Just it's MCToon.
Well, MC, can you just type it out? Can you type it out on the side chat? I'll check it out.
Sure. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Take it easy, mate. Thanks for coming.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, there's a couple of people who want in, I think.
Yeah,
Red Cloud Media.
I've never heard of Red Cloud Media.
Who that guy is?
No, you sound like a communist.